Just getting ready, folks. Be starting in just a minute. Kaz is already in the chat. Afternoon, Kaz. Evening, whatever it is. Probably morning for most people. It is a nice looking box. It's a little bit of a teaser as to something that might be coming on stream in a couple of weeks when it arrives. Something that's just being shipped to me today. Dixie's here. Dixie, you might recognise the box that you can see. Just another minute or so and then we'll make a start, guys. No, Dixie's just where the items come from, DJ. Dixie's just where the items come from. It's just a little tease, a little hint. Well, good evening, folks. Welcome to another stream with me, Jay. As you did just seen, there was a bit of a teaser box on the old screen a few minutes ago. That's a little tease snippet of something that Dixie's kindly sold me that's going to come up on stream in a few weeks' time, hopefully. Any of you that know me, you know I've been after something for a long, long time. I have a certain board that's my true end game, and that's exactly what Dixie's managed to help me find. So he was kind enough to post it out this morning, so I'm hoping that will come in the next few weeks. But you guys should definitely check out his store, Dixie Mech. Some great t-shirts, other bits and pieces on his store. You should definitely go and check that out, folks. Who else have we got in the chat? DJ, good afternoon, good evening, good sir. James, JJ, hey, I love you too. Hope H is watching as well. She better be. Tell her I said that she should watch. Okay, we're going to make a start in just a minute, folks. As you can see, we've got some nice switches set up here, so I thought I'd do a little bit of a lubing for you as well. Most of them are already done. Probably want to take note of this for the giveaway later on as well. But yeah, we're building Outemu Sky switches today. So we've got these, they're just stock switches. Fairly tactile, really, really nice. They are looped with RO59. I'm going to just show you my looping process in a few minutes. No, it's not an MX Ergo, it's just a stock Outemu Sky with the new Sky V2 stems and the Outemu Sky tops and bottoms. Custom sprit spring, 72 grams is what we're going to go with today, gold plated. I've got one of the springs just here, if my camera will focus on that. There you go, guys. So we're going to finish off building these switches in just a few minutes. Talking about the mouse. Oh no, it's a MX Master 2 is the mouse. MX Master 2. I've got Tidal in the chat as well. Hello Tidal, good to see you again, dude. If you guys are looking for building services, Tidal is your man. He's really, really good at building keeps. I could learn a lot from him. MX Master 2, yeah, that's exactly what it is. MX Master 2. So yeah, as I say, what we're going to be doing, I've been trying to catch up today. I've made some switches ready for the build already. I've got them here. So these are the ones that are already made up. So we're just going to finish off these ones down here. Once we finish off these switches, just finishing lubing them, we'll leave them, some of them to dry for 10-15 minutes because using the RO59 lube, that's best left applied and then open to the air for a short while before you seal your switches up. These ones are at the back with the stems in, they've been left for about an hour and a half, and these last 10 or so we'll do slightly differently, and then we've got one ready for the space down in this bottom corner because we're going to put a slightly different weighted spring in that one for the space bar. But today, before we get started with the lube and the switches, I thought I'd talk you through what we're actually going to build. So it's a bit of a special board. It's one that Zondat sold to me a short while ago, and it's a prototype of his X75. So I did tease this on stream a couple of weeks ago, and those of you who went to the recent meetup in Birmingham, you'll have seen this on my table as well, with its lovely copper plate. The interesting thing about it, and I will talk about the fact that it's a prototype and so its problems later on, and I'll show you in a second. Oh, Stocks, man, thank you. I never look as good as you did in that jacket though, man. You looked the bomb in that jacket. Someone get that that picture of him holding his keyboard up, because that's amazing. The little cartoon. You've ruined my train of thought now. Yeah, so we'll go through with the board, and there's a few different bits and pieces just at the side of me here, so I'll get that on stream in a second. I'll show you it, and we'll talk through what I'm going to build on it, how it's going to be a little bit different to a normal build, some of the challenges we've had because it's a prototype, some of the things we've had to do a little bit differently, and the reason why you might see it on stream twice as well. This might not be the only time you see it. So yeah, so there's lots to go through, lots to talk about. The fingers, yes, Max, there you go, there are the fingers. Yes, I have short stubby fingers. It's just one of the things I have. Yeah, I don't know what to say to you on that one. No, it's not a 550 gram spring for the spacebar. It will be 125 gram spring for the spacebar, again from Sprit. Probably shouldn't advertise him because he's a bit dodgy at times, but I do like his springs, so I do use them. Yeah, so let's get the board on, and then I'll talk you about some of the challenges. So this is the board as some of you will have seen it at the meetup. This is a Noxary X75 prototype, currently sporting a 2mm thick copper plate, which is absolutely stunning. I absolutely love this copper plate. Let's flip the board over. It's really heavy, is this, like super heavy. So there you go, you can see Noxary X75 prototype case 01. It's just in the weight there. The weight's getting some nice patina on it as well. But that's not what we're going to build today. We are going to build the board, but that's not the part of the board we're going to build. What we're actually going to build is this section here. So as well as that, as well as the blocked top, I've also got a standard top for it as well. So we're actually going to build this on the brass plate today. And the reason for that is because I'm using the Sky Outemu switches, which I'm not 100% sure I'm going to like massively to type on. So I didn't want to use my favourite of the two plates, which is the copper one, and my favourite of the two tops, which is the blocked one, until I was certain of the switch I was going to use in it. And I've got about 600 of these switches, so if I do like them, I can do the build with those as well. So the plan today is to use this this plate, which is brass. It's been sandblasted, so it's just got a nice dull shine to it. In time, it should match exactly the same as the case weight we saw a few minutes ago. It's a slightly different shade at the minute, but it should patina to that over in time. Okay, it's not too light, isn't the spring weight? 125 grams. The rest is 72 grams. It should be just fine for a board of this size and capacity. It should be just great. So I'm happy with that. What else are we saying in chat? Looks beautiful and personal. Thank you, DJ. Yeah, the board does look stunning. It is really, really good. I'm going to talk about some of the challenge we've had with the board shortly as well, when we get into it a little bit more. Has anyone used these Sky Outemus before? I haven't, but this is piquing my interest. No, I haven't. I've made some up and I've had a click and a feel with them. I think I had one at the meetup that someone walked off with. It was on the table at some point, which is fine. I don't mind. But yeah, I've not tried them in a board, and I don't know anyone who's got them in a board built as yet. So that was why I wanted to do them. I wanted to make sure that we could have a view of these on a board today. Try and do a bit of sound test towards the end of the stream. As well as give me a bit of an experience, so I can tell you guys what they're like in day-to-day use as well. So yeah, so we're gonna go through that, and we'll talk about the case in a minute and some of the challenges that we've had in terms of getting it from being in a prototype state to a usable state. Zon that won't mind me telling you about some of the challenges we've had with that. And additionally to that, there's also a couple of little bits that I want to cover around some upcoming builds. So some secret switches for an upcoming build. A lot of you will already know and be able to guess what they are. I've been dropping teasers of the pictures of the board for a few days now. And the second is something that I recently received from Mike from Novel Keys. Now, it's not the creams, before everyone panics and asks if it's the creams. It's not. Chris Swires has got some. He's going to send me one, and I'll try and have one on my next stream, just so I can give you guys a feel for them. And I know he's doing some sound test videos as well, so I'd like to share the links with that for you as well. But before we get into the different types of secret switches that I'm going to cover off later on, we'll talk a bit about the board. You guys can ask some questions. Then we'll move on to lubing these switches, finishing them off, putting the rest of the switches back together. And once we've done that, we'll carry on with the build as normal. We'll do a normal stab demo, a little bit like that, a little bit like previous streams. And yeah, we'll just finish the build off. It should be a nice, easy stream, probably about an hour, maybe an hour and a half. In which case you'd be really interested to hear my thoughts on save 90 for you. I might save 90 for you. Yeah, you can buy them though. Oh no, I don't mind that people took things. It was there on the table. It was part of the things to take. I don't mind that someone took it. That's not what I meant at all. Please don't think that. The only secret you want to uncover is hiding in my pants. Can we sort down stocks? Just PM me if you want to chat. Just PM me. So let's talk about the board a little bit first of all. So before we start to look at what we've got here, what I want to show you is the original plate and PCB that came with the board. So this is the plate on top of the PCB. As you guys can see, this plate does not support the layout that I use, which is ISO. Sadly, it's an ANSI only plate. It was just a lube it was meant to be taken. Yeah, it was just a lube, but it's fine. It's fine. It's not a problem. It's lube. It's not worth anything massive amounts of money. People took it. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I'm not fussed for it. So as you can see, this plate does only support ANSI, which is a problem for me. Sadly, when we started to look at the plate files and things like that, Zonda no longer had them, so I couldn't just get another plate rehashed with ISO or Universal or anything like that, because he didn't keep his design files because it was a prototype that he never decided to proceed into group buy with, which left it as a bit of a problem. So the first thought was, let's just get rid of the plate and make my own plate, which we did, and we'll come on to it in a bit. The second thing we did was looked at the PCB. PCB looks great, black and gold, really nice looking PCB, but we have a challenge. Whilst it supports the ANSI enter, right here, I'll bring this a bit closer so you guys can see, and the ANSI stabs, and it supports the ISO enter and the ISO second key, it doesn't support any stabs for the ISO key. So the PCB supports ISO without supporting ISO. Again, it was just a prototype, so I can completely understand why that might be the case. Not all layouts were thought of, and these problems happen in pre-production things. So this PCB, as lovely as it is basically not useful, even though it fully works. So if anyone wants an ANSI 75% PCB, just hit me up, and you can have it for the cost of postage. So what we did then is had a look between myself and Wilbur. We had a look at what we could do to replace the PCB, and two things happened. Yanka offered to do me a 75% PCB, which we might take him up for the second build that we do on the copper plate. But what we did was just replace it with the keyboard fans one, because it fits and it does the layout I need, and it was cheap, so it does the job. It fits the bill. That's what we're going to use for this first build today. Hi Kyle, welcome to the chat, and Gouty, nice of you to fire all through the channel. Isn't it just ISO? Like not maybe. DJ, you'll take it, or you can have it for postage. PM me if you want it. That's not the giveaway. There is a bigger giveaway coming later on, guys. So please don't think that was the giveaway. That wasn't it. There's another giveaway later. I hadn't even thought about this until just then. Don't give it to anyone. Hoard it. I've no reason to hoard it. I don't use ANSI. And the other thing is as well, I've got 5 more of them that are blanks without components soldered on, so I definitely don't need to keep it. DJ got everything at the meetup. DJ gets everything, or he seems to. He's got his fingers in a lot of pies as that young kid. Yeah, so PCB was easy, $35, replacement from keyboard fans. It fits the case, it fits the PCB, it fits the plate, it does everything I need it to do. It's QMK compatible. It has underglow, which is of no use to me in this case whatsoever, but it does the job. So that's what we're going to build with today. In terms of the plate, we didn't have, as I said before, we didn't have the luxury of being able to use the existing plate because it was non-ISO, and additionally Zonda didn't have the design files anymore because this is a board he had produced a couple of years ago, I believe. So it was something that I was struggling with for a little while. But I got in touch with Wilbur, who's done a lot of designs for a lot of different things all across the community. And Wilbur was kind enough to be able to take from a few scans and bits and pieces, he was able to make me a plate that fit absolutely perfectly into the case, just based off of literal scans from my desktop scanner. So it was really, really cool. Chris is here. Chris, I love you, man. Thanks for joining. I know you'll watch this tomorrow rather than watching it tonight, or Monday, as you say. Yeah. Thanks, man. I really appreciate you joining and watching these things. I really do. You're a good lad. You're a good lad. Underglow is like half strength switch LEDs. Yeah, I'm not a fan of underglow really. I like it on some boards, but not on a lot of them. This board wouldn't work. It just ruined the aesthetic of the board. What else? Chris isn't sticking around for the giveaway now. He knows what the prize is. He doesn't want it. Baby Feet's in the chat as well. Welcome, dude. Hey Chris, bye Chris. Yeah, no, that's pretty much what Chris is like. So yeah, so Wilbur helped me design this new plate. I got 2 of them cut. I got this one in brass, which is 1.5 millimeters thick, and then sandblasted. And then I got another one cut in copper, which you saw on stream a minute ago. Both from Laser Boost. The price for both was less than €60 plus shipping, which is an absolute bargain when you think about it. Danny is DJ off of the MK UK, I believe. Yeah, so Wilbur was a great guy. He helped me get this ready. It fits perfectly. It does everything I need it to do. The stab cutouts, and even best of all, it is fixed layout for the specific layout that I want. The only luxury that we've taken on this is it offers either stepped caps or normal caps, and that's literally it. Other than that, it is a fully fixed plate for my specific layout, and this is the one we're going to build today. Now, interesting to note, because the other top case that I've got with the copper does have a blocker here, we are going to have a nice piece of brass showing. I'm interested to see what the aesthetic looks like when it's built. We'll see how it goes. It should be fine. I think it'll be quite nice. We'll be able to see it age and patina over time, and I think it'll look really nice. So that's pretty much everything about the top of the case, and the problems we've had with the PCB and the challenges on that. I should put these to one side for now because I need to finish switches off first. In terms of the rest of the case, I did explain this to some of you at the meetup, but the case itself, and we'll just pop it here for a second. The case itself, you can see it's got the 8 mounting points on the bottom. Now, when these were created, you see I've got some bolts in here and here just to hold it together. When this case was created, one of the issues with it was it wouldn't bolt together because the bolts that needed for the thread side into the top part of the case, because the bolts they go through this way. So the head of the bolt's here and the screw part's here, the thread for the screws here. So when you put the bolts through, the bolts that would fit through the hole in here were too small for the thread on this side, on the top side. So you could never actually screw it together. So what I had to do is, once I got it off Sundays, I had to go around all 8 holes, put them on the drill press, make sure that they were nice and flush and nicely bored out, and now we can get the bolts in to hold it together perfectly. So that was another little challenge with the board. Again, prototype, it happens, these things are easily overlooked and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, just something nice and simple to fix, to be honest. I see the unfinished brass. Yeah, unfinished brass is best. Look at that. Look how gorgeous that weight's starting to look. I can show you one of my other Noxary boards, which is probably a little bit newer actually. Let me grab that and just show you what the passing on that's going to be like. So this one is my Noxary 268AG. Which has got February time, I think. So here you go. Here you can see the weight on this one. It's starting to get a nice patina as well. Number 13 of 22. 13 is my favourite number. Sweaty hands. There we go. Yeah, lovely board. One of my favourites. So yeah, so that's what that's what it's going to go back. Yeah, chair stream. Yeah, you can see my chair on stream all day if you want. I'll just leave the camera on. That's fine by me. Yeah, so that's what we're going to do today. So the first thing to do is to finish off these switches, answer any questions you guys have got. Then what we'll do is we'll take the copper part of this case apart. We'll put the switches and everything into the other top part, and then we'll bolt it all together, and that should be the build done. One other mistake that I need to tell you about, thanks Dixie, the copper is absolutely stunning. I actually want to do this on the board that you're sending to me as well, so I'm trying to find the plate files at the minute for it, so that I can do the same thing on that, because I think that would look stunning. Yeah, so the other mistake that I made today is, and I mentioned this on stream last week, I was almost out of solder. I forgot to buy some more. I had to run around today to try and find some. I was going to go and see Toby, who bought me pizza on the last stream, at some point this week. That didn't happen because a tractor got driven onto the train lines and I didn't get down to London on Thursday. So I had to go and buy some more solder. So instead of using 0.25mm thick solder today, we'll be using this stuff, which is the only stuff I could find in B&Q, which is 1.36mm in thickness. So it's 5.5 times the thickness of what I'm used to. So we'll see how that goes, but that might hinder or maybe not the stream later on, we'll see. So again, just a couple of reminders. We have got a giveaway later on. We'll touch on that after we've done the soldering. And what I want to do now is, before we finish off these switches, and before I show you my lubing process, which some of you will hate, what I want to do is just show you one of the two types of secret switches that we've got on screen for you today. So the first ones have been sent by Mike from Novel Keys. So these look like normal switches from the top. And these are what's called sun switches. So I'll try and get a bit of focus on the camera for you here. They're MX cap compatible, if this is going to focus, there we go. And they're nicely windowed on the top. So these are polycarbonate tops, I believe. The stems, I think, are POM. They're clicky switches. But what's really interesting about these is the underside. Now, the underside is designed so that the LED can go central and shine right the way up through the cap. You can actually see my finger through the stem there. So these are sun switches, and I suspect the design's been really bright from an LED perspective. So Mike kindly sent me these to test and play around with. So I don't know if these will ever be on non-consumer boards, so like hobbyist boards or anything like that in the community. That's mainly because the pin layout is very, very different to an MX, which you can try and get this to focus. Is it going to have it? No, you can kind of see the pin layout there is very different. It's not Alps, it's not MX, it's slightly different. Now these are manufactured by Kale. They are clicky, but they're really smooth, and they feel really nice to use. Not that I use clicky switches very often, but I thought it was interesting to see these. I've got two, got a pair of them. Again, this isn't the giveaway, but as you can see, they're almost transparent down the bottom. You can see that it changes colour to my hand. So it's really, really interesting switches, and I suspect from an LED perspective they'll be really nice. 2 toffees remaining unbuilt until it arrives. That's fair. Bledin's checking in from Greece. Nice, good to see you, dude. Good to see you, man. They're the BBC of the Switch world. Stretch out plastic holes. Maybe. You returned with another kind. You missed the sun switches, DJ. You missed the sun switches. I don't know if I'd love these. I would like to try them a little bit better on like a full board. We've got Glue in the chat. Glue Dean is my homeboy. He's my good buddy from San Fran. So everyone say hi to Dean for me in the chat. The low profile and medium profile switches. I don't have any of the low profile or medium profile switches. As far as Mike tells me, they're going just fine, but I haven't really chatted to him about him. So yeah, that is what it is, I guess. Everyone's saying hi to Dean. Good work, guys. Good work. So that's the first thing I wanted to talk about. Just sun switches. They're really cool, really unusual. I expect we'll see them in some consumer grade boards, maybe Razer or something like that, or whoever else is using Kale switches these days. I don't really know, but I think it'd be interesting to have a look. I haven't taken these apart as yet, but they do have really wide springs that go around the hole in the bottom. So the springs are actually wider than the diameter of the hole. So it is really interesting, but they do feel nice. They do feel nice. Anyway. You got burnt, bled. Oh man, that's not good. That's not good. It may not be Razer, I don't know. They could be for anyone. The second thing I want to tease, I also have to get up, so you'll have a chair stream again for about 30 seconds while I get this and show you guys this. And this is also coming for an upcoming build of mine. Again, I'm not sure what build it's going to be part of, but there's some really nice switches coming off this. So I'll show you this now, and then you guys can have a look at it. Can hear it peaking at times. Okay, let me turn it down a little bit. It could just be my voice. Okay, I've turned it down a little bit. Let me know if that happens still. We'll see it from there. Mr. Keebs, what are those switches? The switches here, these are Outemu Sky switches, which we're going to be building in a few minutes. The ones I was showing previously were sun switches from Kale. you'll DM me the damage. All right, man, I want to see that. I do want to see that. But yeah, so the Outemu Sky, what we're going to use in the X75 build today. Should do a monitor stream. Probably not. I don't get why I'd want to stream the monitors. No one wants to see that crap. You have the Outemu Skies. Didn't hear about the Sun ones. Looks amazing. Oh, well, the Sun ones came from Mike from Novel Keys. He sent me those a couple of weeks ago. It took a little while to get here, but they are really interesting. One of them is for Max for West Foxtrot. If anyone wants the other one, PM me. You can have it. That's fine. Just let me know. First PM gets it. Right, okay, so next set of switches which is going to be an upcoming build. Let me just grab something else to show you guys. So this is what's going to go into, or well, the switches from this are going to go into one of the builds. So this is a rather large board, but what's really interesting about this one is some of you might recognise the name up in this top corner. And yes, it is full of those switches. So I'll just show you. There you go, look at that, full board of these. So we're going to do a bit of desoldering in the next week or so. We're going to build these at for something, I'm not quite sure what. And then what we're going to do as well is we're going to restore this board back to its former glory, but with MX blacks inside it instead, and keep it as a bit of a display piece. But we're going to try and get it working via USB as well. Okay, so that's the two different types of switches. I can't reveal my sources on where that came from. I've been sworn to secrecy, but yeah, it's a good board. I got it for a very reasonable price, and that's going to go towards making one of the next builds on this channel. It may even be the copper-plated X75. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. So yeah, so the copper plate's lovely. We're going to do the brass today, but first we need to finish these switches. So today I've been using RO59 lubes. This came from Mech Boards. It's a really thin lube. The idea is for this one is that you let it dry once you've applied it. But what I want to do is just show you my method for lubing switches. I will try and do it clearly. My camera's not the best. I need to get a better camera for the close-up stuff. But once we've done that, I'll show you on these last 10 switches that we need to do. We'll put the tops on the rest of these switches. We'll talk a little bit more about the giveaway, and then we'll get into the soldering as well from there. The copper plate isn't coated at all. It will be left to oxidise. It'll never go green, but it will start to oxidise and it'll start to patina over time. So the green that you see on things like Statue of Liberty and that kind of stuff, that comes from being exposed to the elements. Inside, what will happen, it'll start to go darker, a little bit like brass does in places, and it'll start to patina really nicely. But yeah, I don't expect it will stay as shiny as it is for more than maybe 6 or 7 months before it starts to discolour. So yeah, so we'll see how that gets. But yeah, Kaz, you're right, if it went full of green it'd be really nice, but sadly it won't. I could potentially get one and leave it outside for 6 months and see how that went, and then maybe clear coat it afterwards. I don't know, might be something to think about. Peugeot Onyx content, yeah, exactly, that would be lovely. It would be lovely. But yeah, we'll see. Maybe I will do that with a plate, or maybe I'll just get a 60% plate or something and just leave it outside. Hanging on the wall or something for 6 months, and maybe do a build of that in maybe 6 or 8 months, something like that. Maybe that's worthwhile looking at. Okay, so back to the lubing. So this is RO59 lube. It came from Mech Boards. David was kind enough to send me some. There was plenty of it going around at the meetup as well. I think Kaz, I know you've asked for some off me as well. And I think Albrew, I don't know if you're watching today, dude, but I know both your packages are out there ready to be posted. Hopefully tomorrow. I'll ping you when I get out to the post office. Probably speed it up with rapid heating and cooling. Yeah, I did do a rusted out board a little while ago, and that was a steel plate, and I rusted that out literally by putting it in the oven with salt and with bleach. So I just put it in a bowl of bleach, slapped the oven on, poured salt all over it, mixed it all around, popped it in the oven, left it for 20 minutes. Nearly killed myself by the fumes when I opened the oven door, but the plate came out and it was rusted perfectly. Gave it a really quick wipe down under the tap, made sure it was nice and clean, and then just clear coated it. And that came out really, really well, actually. Again, if you want to see that, I can show you. I won't get it unless you ask me to show you that. But yeah, that was something that I have done before. Probably wouldn't try it with the copper, because I don't want to kill myself. I got myself into trouble with the wife last time, and it's probably not worth it. And it's just easier to save the hassle and leave it outside for 6 months. It's probably easier. So yeah, so let's crack on with the lubing. Now I do this probably a little bit differently to most people. I'm not necessarily the best luber, and this is for tactile switches. Now the problem I found with these tactile switches when I first put them together, and this is an unlubed one here, is they're a little bit scratchy. I'll see if you guys can hear this. Don't know if you can hear that. Thanks DJ, just keep an eye on it and let me know if it does peak. It's probably my voice more than anything. I'm losing it a little bit, so I'm probably shouting to try and compensate for that. But that's what the switches sound like stock, and I'll show you a lubed one. Much quieter. So yeah, so the lubed ones are a lot nicer, feel a lot smoother, so lubed is what we're going to do. So we'll finish these ones off. I'll show you my lubing process. We'll seal all these switches up. We'll talk a bit more about the giveaway, and then we'll get into the soldering and do the build. Mine's really scratchy as well. I thought it would need to be lubed. Yeah, they do need to be lubed. It wouldn't bother you until you got them out of the motherboard. I haven't mounted these yet, but it really bothered me while I was testing them, so that's why I wanted to do it anyway for the lube. So, I do this in a number of ways. Before I actually lube one, I'll show you what my process is. So the first thing I do is I take the brush, I'll dip it in the lube, I'll wipe the excess off on the sides. What I do then is I go into the switch, into the base of the switch here. I'll go around the bottom of the stem socket, and then what I'll do is I'll come up both sides. So I'll come up both this side, and then I'll come up both the other side, and move on to the next switch and do all of those switches. Once I've done that, and I'll dip for each switch, just one dip for each switch, and wipe off the excess. Once I've done that, the next thing that I do is I just put the point into the hole, dip of the lube, point into the hole, and coat around the hole as well. I'll try and show you this a bit closer. So this is how we do the lube in J World. So lube on the brush, in around the bottom housing. Very difficult to show this on camera. Around the bottom housing, like so, up one side and then back up the other side. That keeps it nice and smooth. We do that across all of the switches, keep them all the same, one dip per switch, and then as I say, we do it around the holes afterwards, which I'll show you. From there then what I'll do is I'll stand springs in each one, so I'll just do something a little bit like that. Again, a dip, wipe off the excess, run it around the top of the spring, and then what that's going to do is it's going to slowly roll down the spring, and that's the easiest way to lube the springs. And then when we get onto the stems, I'll show you the stems. So what we do here, take the stem on its side, so you've got the front contact leaf at the front, and just on the slider I'll brush it down, and you're kind of coating it with lube and then brushing the lube off. So you put some lube on and then brush it smooth, then flip it over, same on the other side, brush it on, get it nice and smooth, and then sit the stem in the spring. And that's my lubing process, nice and simple. Oh, we've got Paul in the chat, Mr. Bob himself. Hey man, lubing slide rails and springs. Yes, lubing it all, lubing it all, lubing it all. Yes, so you're actually right, Pipe Parker. I was going to touch on this. So on the stem, and these are probably the worst stems in the world to do on a stream because of the colour of them. They might be nice to use, but on the stem, so what you've got, if this focuses, you've got legs at the front. You can kind of just see a leg just off the side. Come on, focus, damn you. Let's see if this will focus. No, it's not going to have it. Okay. Well, anyway, the shape of the stem is that. There we go, you can see that. You can see the little leg hanging off there. If you touch the front of that leg with the lube, that's where it contacts the leaf inside the housing. If you put lube on that, it does reduce the tactility. So when you put it on, it's really careful that you're only on the side slides housings. Hand over the camera to refocus closely. Okay, let's try that. No, it's not working. No, it's not going to have it. Not going to have it. Oh, there we go. There you go. There you go. You can see the leg there. There we go. That works really nicely. So you can see the leg at the front. If you get lube on the front of that, it does reduce the tactility. You know, you talked about your lube, but you already missed it. Is it grease or oil based? I've no idea actually. I think it's grease based. It's RO59. It's from Mech Boards. I actually don't know any more about it than that. I've not really looked into it. It's the first time I've ever really used it for a build. So yeah, so we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'll give you my reviews in a week or so when we've had the board in for a week. So I'll just go through my lubing process. Oh, you find Astroglide to be way better value than Krytox for when lubing non-switches, yeah. For getting the stem in the hole, though, isn't it? That's what it's for. If I do it linears, it's easy. Yeah, linears are easier to lube because it doesn't really matter. I do lube the front rails as well as the leaf inside the switch if I'm doing those. So yeah, we'll try that. RF59 is probably better for linears than what it is for tactiles. It's the first time I've used it on any switch, but I'm going to use it on tactiles today just to give it a little bit of a try. And we'll see how it goes. That's all I can say. I don't know any more than that. But I'll just talk you through my lubing process. So just dry off the brush, make sure there's no excess lube, and let's just make sure we do it the same on all of them. So dip in, wipe off the excess, nice and simple, into the base of the switch, around the base, up one slider rail, up the other slider rail, and then onto the next switch. So back in, wipe off the excess, into the base of the switch, around the base, up one slider rail, up the other slider rail, all the way up. Nice big strokes, and that's how we do it. So if you guys are watching this, if you can see on camera, if you can't, let me know. I'll try and do one closer to the camera. Around the bottom, up one slider rail, up the other slider rail. It is a really laborious process, but it's absolutely worth it for good switches. Now I've used Outemu switches a few times in a few different builds. I really like them in my Hyper 7. I know a lot of you guys have seen the Hyper 7 in person, but I think those switches work really well on that board. Paul's kindly sent me some more of the V2 tops and stems for that, so I need to actually change around at some point, which may be on another stream at some point as well, so we might see that soon. Into the bottom of the switch, around the base, up one side, up the other. Nice and simple. Mr. Keebs is Brazilian. Wow, Brazil, nice. I've always fancied going to Brazil. Always fancied to go. One of you's got a black name and I can't read it. Oh, it's Moxie. Hi, Moxie. Sorry, I couldn't read your name then. Yeah, there's North American retailers with RF59. It's all over. I think Quellbit had it as well at one point. So yeah, you should be able to get it. So around the base of the switch, up one slider, up the other. Nice and simple. We'll just keep going until we get to the end of this, and then I'll show you the next step. Take time. Anything worth doing isn't worth rushing. Ooh, nearly knocked that over then. There we go. I wouldn't lube clickies personally, or I would never lube clickies. That's just because I don't use clickies more than anything, but I'd just be scared of removing the click from them. I've seen some people lube switches and that's happened, so I wouldn't do it. Yeah, Mech Boards. David from Mech Boards is where I got my RF59 from. I did get quite a few vials of it and sold some of it for a discount price at the MK UK meetup in Birmingham last week. RF59 is better if you do 2 or 3 layers. Yeah, I've heard that. If I really dislike this lube, I'll go back to my standard Krytox 105 for the housings and 104 for the springs. If I don't like this lube, so we'll see when we come back to it after a couple of weeks, how it's bedded in, what they feel like. This is also a lube that you need to leave to dry ideally. We're not going to get a chance with these last 10 switches to do that, but a majority of them have been open for a good hour, and the ones that are built already have been open for a good couple of hours. Just do this last switch. This is going to be our spacebar switch. Just making sure you stay away from the contact leaves. You don't want to get any lube on the tactile switch on the contact leaves at all. Okay, so that's step 1. Nice and simple. Do you have any left? Does Jay have? Yes. I have what? Irish little stems? I think I've got maybe 100. I don't know. How much is it per vial again? I sold these in Birmingham for £5 a vial. I think Mechboard sells them for £7.50 on the site. They're normally a tenner. They're reduced at the minute. I don't know how much stock they've got. I think it's about $10, $12 in America. I don't know. It's not massively expensive. And when you consider, let me put the lid on and just show you how much of this I've actually used. So I don't know if I can So you can see there's a little bit missing in there. It's hard to show you. In fact, let me show you with this camera. So this was just underneath the cap when I got it. That's what's left, and I've done maybe 84 switches I've done with it. So there you go. So I'll do maybe 400 or 500. I have everything you could possibly probably need. That's not true, Stocks. I don't have you. You're not sat with me. You should be here doing that. If that was true, I might give you that one, but sadly you're not. Yeah, everyone should go to the meetups. Meetups are the best thing in the world for seeing keeps and meeting things. Absolutely think it's worthwhile going to meetups, try new things, try stuff you can't buy, can't afford, whatever it is, I don't know, making your decisions. Just go to meetups, meet people, see different boards, see different things. It's all good. Anyway, let's move on to step 2. Step 2, again, one dip of the brush into the lube. Wipe off the excess, and then what I do is I pop it straight into the centre stem holder, wipe it around, and then come out. Dip into the lube, wipe off the excess, into the centre of the stem holder, wipe it around, come out. Now, really simple is this, and this is just because this is where the stem will go. Now what you need to be careful of is that you don't have too much lube and it leaves a puddle in the bottom. That's the last thing you want. Not everyone does this, it's not necessary. Everyone has their own way of lubing. You just need to find your way of doing it. As an 8-year-old wasted off his ass at your last meet. Wow, that's terrible. I think the youngest person at ours was probably 14, maybe 15. They didn't get drunk. I did get drunk. I got massively drunk. Me and Chris Swires were out until maybe 4 o'clock with Gouty and a few others. That was a heavy night. It was a heavy night. I felt very rough the next morning. It took me a while before I could drive home. And we've got Sparny as well. Span, if you're here, you need to tell me when this Sweetie group buy is happening. It's been months, man. Sort it out. Stocks got drunk. Stocks always gets drunk. Stocks is just drunk. That's just the way of life. If I'm breathing, Stocks is drunk. Soon TM. I don't believe it. You better get it sorted, man. Better get it sorted. What else are we saying in chat? What else is going on? The only good thing about going to meetups is getting absolutely smashed and dream about Jay in your cheap hotel room. If that's what you and Maggie do in your hotel room, I've got to question your life decisions, man. Paul's a stoner retired, so are most of us, I think. You get to that age and you just can't keep up with it. Water between drinks, I can't even look at you. You do make me laugh, man. You're going to cut me off like a dead limb. What? I don't know what you're doing. I don't know what you're on about. Okay, so that's what we do to lube the housings, the base housings. The next step for me is take the springs and pop these in. So we're using 72-gram sprit springs for most of the switches. The only switch that's going to be a little bit different is our space bar, and that's why we've got a switch separate just over here. So this one is going to have 125-gram space bar spring from Sprit as well. So just popping the springs in, and I'll show you how I lube these in a minute. This is where we find out that when I counted these out earlier on, I can't count and I'm going to be short. But if we are short, I'll just have a heavy ISO enter as well. We'll do it that way. Done anything with the case yet? Ooh, what's this? Case for what? Case for what? Spill the beans, guys. Don't be having secrets. I suspect this is for that AEK thing that you're looking at, but we'll see. Okay, one more spring. So I did count correctly, we'll be pleased to know. If you guys weren't here, I'd clap for myself for doing that, because I usually cock it up. And then as I say, we're going to use 125-gram sprit spring, and this is going to go in our space bar. I'm just going to keep that switch separate at all times. Super secret. Oh, for personal projects. You all need J Dakimakura pillars. Oh right, okay. Okay, I know what you mean. I know what you mean. I'd love a J one. Yeah, we should get those made. I'm not opening that on stream, man. But yeah. Spartan, I have 400 gram switches springs, and I don't put them in every switch. Okay, so lubing process for springs. What I do is I take the brush, dip it in, wipe off the excess, and then I wipe it around the outside of the top of the spring, and so I can just see a thin coat of the lube. As soon as I can see the lube, I know that that's going to run down the spring, and it's going to lube the whole spring over a few key presses. Now, some people bag lube springs. I don't really get that. I think it feels worse when you do that. Yeah, just take it nice and steady, nice and slowly. Make sure you don't miss any. You want a Hyper 7 Dakim... How do you even say that? Dakimakura? I don't know. Just trying not to lose my space with the springs here. Just until you can see a thin layer of lube. Just then you know it's going to run down the spring. Make sure you wipe off the excess. Too much lube. It's easy to add more lube later on than it is to take it away. So always put on just a very, very thin amount and maybe come back to add some more lube later if you need to. So that's the springs lubed, nice and simple. Again, nice and easy. What we're going to do now is just going to do the stems. So again, what I'm going to try and show you is if we can get this to focus. So we're going to do one side of the slider rail. You can just see that there. Now it's focused. You can see that. Oh, damn things. Okay, so we're going to do one side of the slider rail and then the other. It does keep wanting to focus. I don't know. Maybe it's just too small. Maybe it's just too small. I need a better camera. Anyway, yeah, do one side first and then the other side. Dakimakura. Okay, I'll take your word for it. You recommend not looking at my PMs on Discord while doing anything important. I never do anything important anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it. So what we're going to do, wipe one side of the stem with lube, wipe the other side of the stem, making sure we don't get it on the front part that touches the contact leaf. Slide it into the housing, and then we're going to go from there. Just finish these up, we'll put the tops on, and then we're going to talk about the giveaway. So please remain tuned in for that. So again, wipe the lube on, almost wipe it off. You see I'm brushing it a few times. You just want a really thin layer, and the other side, you can see how that's going when you do it yourself, and then into the switch. Touch more lube, wipe off the excess, brush it on one side, making sure that you can see where it is. You can kind of see if you reflect it in the light, where's wet and where's not. You want it just a thin coating, a really fine coating. Too much and you'll ruin it, too little and you can always add more. Yep, James Lube Sesh, you got a private tutorial on this from Chris Swires, so you should be a lube master. You should come and do lube my switches for me. So let's say you're lubing the switch, lubing the stem, and then wiping it off, basically. So you just want a really thin, fine layer. Really thin, fine layer. Always get the excess off your brush if you can. There we go. Planning on using 2 for the Soderman Turtle OSU pad things. I don't even know what that is. You guys just speak no sense sometimes. How long is this stream going to last for? Maybe an hour from now. We should be just about done. We're going to do a really, really quick stab tutorial, which I always do, which will take about 5 minutes. We're going to do the giveaway, which will take about 10 minutes. And then we're just going to do the soldering as well. So maybe an hour from now. Had a Tennessee sandblasted and powder coated, but got coated a bit thick. Okay, so there's 2 things with powder coated pipe parker, and I've got a load of experience with this because I have a lot of classic cars that I get bits powder coated for. There's 2 types of powder coater. There's the first type that do industrial powder coating, and what they do is they do big bits of machinery, so cranes, all sorts of stuff like that. They have these massive ovens and things like that. And they do good for what they need it for. It's really strong, it's tough stuff. But they usually put it on way too thick for commercial products. so I wouldn't use those. The second type of powder coaters that you can get are what they call decorative powder coaters. These are the kind of companies that do bike frames and all that kind of good stuff. That's the type of company you want to use. That's the type of company you want to get in touch with for your cases and stuff like that. If you, I can't remember where you're based, Pie Park, but if you're up in the north, let me know, because I know quite a few companies that'll do that sort of stuff for you. Okay, just 2 more stems to do now. We're just going to finish off this one and then do the space bar one as well. So again, just wipe it on and then almost wipe it off. You want just such a thin layer, any more than a thin layer, you're just going to end up with mushy switches. You're doing some lubing tonight with H. Nice. Well done, James. Oh, you cleaned the high res as well. Good lad, good lad. This place is definitely industrial. Did have a lot of bike frames on the portfolio. Just find somewhere new. Find somewhere new. Always go and see what they've done before you buy the services as well. And it should be dead cheap as well. I don't know what you paid, but I think I usually pay for powder coating about 10-15 quid a board. It's never a lot of money, and that's really good quality. It's usually really cheap stuff. So that is all of our springs, switches and stems lubed. Sorry, I've got an itchy eye now. So yeah, you might want to have a look at what's on the board at the minute, just for the giveaway. You might want to have a look at that. Just have a good look. Anyway, enough of that. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take these out. Pay 20 quid for my Ford. I'll definitely touch with. Yeah, it's about right. 20 quid's not a bad price. We're just going to pop the tops on, make sure they click in nicely. Feel the switch, make sure it feels good. Remember that spring's going to take a few clicks to get fully lubed. I hope you're all looking at this board for the giveaway, but if you weren't, it's too late now. Okay. Cool, nice to see you, Carl. See you soon, man. I'm just testing these as we lube them, as we put them back together. Just give them a few clicks, make sure they're okay. You'll be able to tell quickly if there's any that you've missed lubing out. It'll feel scratchy or whatever. Keep testing them. This is going to be a boring 5 minutes while I do all these. I really am sorry for that. We'll be okay. We'll be good. We'll be good. No one needs to get anything powder coated, but white's a nice colour to have things powder coated. I've got a couple of white boards, some that are old plastic ones which start to yellow over time. I've got some Mao ones. They do micro arc oxidization, so it's a little bit like anodizing, but it's not quite as tough. That's not really white, it's kind of a greyish colour. I've got an E6 in that. White, the only real way you're going to get white is powder coating, but then you're never going to have a perfect finish with powder coating. You're going to get close, but you're never going to have a perfect finish, and it's always a lot thicker than any other painting methodology or colouring methodology. German Mao, yes, that's the exact Mao it is, folks. There we go, you can see we're starting to get there now. Almost got 1 row of these switches done. And again, this is probably where I've counted out the wrong number of tops. If you are doing a heavier space like I am, make sure you always keep it separate. So that's going to be the last one we do today. It's the last one we put together. Tina for the tofu. I'm not sure which I prefer, to be honest. I think I prefer the looks of the tofu, but I think the Tina is possibly a slightly higher quality board. Possibly a slightly higher quality board. Okay, so we found one switch that feels a bit weird. Probably put a bit of more lube on that one than we should have done. We'll come back to it and we'll have a look. Luckily I've got more of these I can build if needed. Hentai costs me the giveaway. Hentai better not cost you the giveaway, man. You did well getting an honourable mention at the meetup though with your board. It was really good quality, man. Really impressed with that. We're just going to carry on putting these together. It's going to take me a minute or two, guys. I do apologise. I'll just try and flash these together quickly. Such a good doggo. Who's a good doggo? Have we got pictures of doggos? I want to see pictures of doggos. Please share. Read more hentai to drown your sorrows. Okay. You can always do that. I didn't realise you read it though. I didn't think it was something you read more than you just admired the pictures, maybe? Maybe I'm wrong. Well, what's Spawn helping you find? Spawn can't find sweets in Germany, so I wouldn't trust him. I wouldn't trust him. You can do both. You can both read and look at it. I'll let you guys be the experts on that one. I'll try and stay clear of it. Stocks can teach me anything I need to know. So we are getting there. I do hope you guys paid attention to this this layout earlier on before I started messing with it, because we are going to do the giveaway shortly, or we're at the very least going to talk about it a little bit more. Shots fired, always. You know how I roll. Okay, so a little under halfway there with these now. We are getting there. We won't be long. Wait, what? What are we waiting for? Tell me what we're waiting for, man. One of the things I do need to check though is Dean, Mr. Glue, the man himself, the legend, the brother from another mother, the brother in San Francisco. Did you get the package that was for a friend of mine, Mel, the Fugu package? That would be interesting to know, dude, if you've got them or not. Reading questionable comics with pretty pictures. Okay, we're getting there now, dudes. Getting there now. So just to remind you, these are Outemu Sky switches with 72 gram sprit springs and lubed with sorry, not Krytox, no, that's what I normally use, and lubed with RO59 lube. Which is a first for me, so we're going to see how it goes. We're going to see what happens with it. I'll give you my thoughts in a week or so when we have the next stream. We do the next build, which is pretty much sorted. I think we know what we're going to do next time. And then the time after that should probably be my end game board, what I call end game, the one we were teasing earlier on that Dixie from Dixie Mech has kindly sent to me this morning. I'm really looking for that. I can't wait for that to arrive. It's an expensive but worthwhile purchase, I hope. So I can't wait to get that on stream and build that to my my specifications. So I can't wait to share that with you guys as well. And then we've got the Nixie board. We're going to dismantle that, desolder it this week, hopefully one night during the week coming. And then the Nixies are probably going to go in the copper topped X75. As I say, these are for the brass version, so this is where we're going to just test out the 75 layout on this particular board, test out the Outemu Sky switches as well, see how they feel after a week or so of use. The other thing I need to do as well is get another secondary PCB for the copper board as well. We'll probably just get another keyboard 75 PCB for now. Until I can get Yankar to make me a proper one, and then in a few weeks' time we've got a really big project coming up, which is probably going to take multiple streams and probably be very boring, and none of you are going to want to see it, but I want to do it, and that's a hand wire build. So there's a few people talking about that too. And then after that there's going to be an AEK build, so that's where we're going to look at some of the old Apple keycaps, but rather than do the standard ANSI one with an ALP 64 PCB, we're going to do a 66 key layout. And that's going to use a custom PCB, custom plates, and it's going to be AEK ISO as well. So I've got the caps retro brighting at the minute for that. Then I'll just give them a couple of ultrasonic cleans, and we'll see where we go from there. What's everyone drinking tonight? At the minute I'm drinking water. Earlier on I was drinking Iron Brew. Later on I'll be drinking gin. Daniel was kind enough to send me some gin after I put his canoe together on the last stream. So that's what I'll be drinking later on. These do actually feel really nice. The more I'm clicking these switches, the more I'm liking Paul. Man, good job on these. To be honest, if you compare these to the old Outemu switches, these are 10 times better. So I know you've had a good relationship with Outemu, or Outemu, how you pronounce it. But I'm really impressed with how much these switches have come on. How much more usable they are as a daily driver switch. He's gone. Paul's gone. Ah, oh well. Oh well. We've got Jericho in the chat though. Welcome, dude. Welcome, my man. Gary's drinking whiskey. Gary, I imagine that you probably don't drink much else. Beer and whiskey. I just imagine that you get up in the morning, you have whiskey for breakfast, and then maybe a beer at lunchtime, and then maybe more whiskey in the afternoon. I missed his message. I do miss some of the messages. Chat's quite active on here. So I do apologise if I miss some of your messages. I try and keep up. Fake Germany. Austria is not fake Germany, no. It's not England either, no. Think about where Gouty lives, folks. Where does Gary live? Where does Gary live? Too much shit posting. Sorry, Jay. You don't have to apologise, man. I like the shit posting. It wouldn't be half as much fun if you guys didn't shit post. Okay, so we're almost there now, guys. Just a few more switches to do. I told you this would be the most boring 5 minutes of your life. No one knows. Okay, well, I'll leave it to you all to find out. Maybe that should be the giveaway challenge. Find out where Gouty lives. It's not really, but maybe I should have done that. That might have been a bit easier. That might have been a bit easier. Gouty's in the south of the UK, is he not? Maybe he is. Maybe he is. I don't know. You tell me, guys. You tell me. Parker knows where he is. Pie Parker. Okay, guys, we're almost there. A couple more switches left to go, and then we've got the spacebar switch, which we're going to keep separate. He's in his house, but where's his house? Where's his house? I'm not sure I could let you win, Gouty. You probably have to cancel that. As a challenge for the giveaway, yes. It's not difficult, no. It all depends on how much attention you're paying on. I gave you a few hints and tips. We'll come on to the giveaway in a little minute anyway. Okay, so that's all the switches done. This is the spacebar switch. The spacebar switch is going to go separate to all of the other switches, so that I don't mess it up later on. So that's going to just sit there. You guys remind me that that's a spacebar switch when it comes to building it. Okay, so should we talk about the giveaway? Do you guys want to talk about the giveaway? I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you what the giveaway prize is first. And then we'll talk about how you're going to win the giveaway in a little bit. But you did need to be paying attention earlier on. That doesn't mean you say you can't still win, but you should have been paying attention earlier on. So what's the giveaway today? It's not the lube, that's just another bag of lube. But the giveaway today is something from Prime Caps. And it comes with a little flashcard. And this is what we've got today for you. This is one of their really lovely artisans. This is the calling card that goes with it. I'll dig out the artisan and show you guys what it looks like. So here is the little guy. Lovely colours, as you can see. He's one of their sloth caps. His name is, if you can read it, Scar Hella Duro. There you go. Is the colourway, and he's one of their love sloths. Let me get this guy out. And then you guys can see him a little bit better. This time I hope it does work and does. There you go. Can you guys see? Is that gonna work? Hold on. I'm gonna focus. There you go. That's the little guy. Really cute little artisan. So this is for the giveaway. We'll talk about in just a little while around who can win. Time for a duel. You challenging me to a duel? You're not going to win that, man. Let's be honest. You're Scottish. You'll be drunk before you even get to where I am. So this is the prize. If anyone is interested in it, you can enter the giveaway. When does Prime ship in bags? Prime has shipped in these bags for a short while. There is also some other little gubbins in there, stickers as well. I'm not going to show those on stream, but they're all in the bag as well. So that is the prize. That will be shipped out to whoever wins free of charge. No cost, no charge to enter or nothing like that. I'm not going to ask you guys for money or anything. I'll ship it out in the next week or so to whoever wins the challenge. Do you know what? Sorry, we'll do the giveaway now. Why not? Why not? So earlier on, I had switches on here. They were all open switches and they had the stems plugged into them, apart from one row here and a single switch there. In this section back here, how many of the stems were twisted at a 90-degree angle to the rest? Most of the stems are horizontal, a number were turned the other way. One guess each, folks. First person to get it wins. Kaz has guessed 3, that's wrong. Danny's guessed 4, that's wrong. Bledden's guessed 9, that's wrong. Pie Parker's guessed 7, that's wrong. Ms. Evil Genius is our winner. 2 is the correct answer. If you guys want to go back afterwards and look at the screenshots, you can question it. Gary's got the right answer as well, but he's just a little bit late. Garrico as well. Stocks miles off with 6. There was just 2 that were turned at a 90-degree angle. So there you go. Well done, guys. Well done. Ms. Evil Genius, I think you bought a Hyper 7 from me. If you have and I haven't shipped it, it's literally outside here. So if it's outside here and you haven't already got it, I will put it in that box and it'll come with the Hyper 7. If you have already got your Hyper 7, just ping me and let me know, drop me an email, whatever you want to do. And I will make sure this gets out to you. You thought I had a twisted stem too. There was just 2 that had a twisted stem. They were all broadly flat, and then 2 were turned at 90 degrees to that. So there were 2 that were absolutely, completely done. I never said they weren't exactly 90, but you know, as close as I could get. I'm not going to get a ruler out and measure them. Giveaway's not been redone. Ms. Evil Genius, you will get your artisan. Yeah, shipping email went out yesterday. So yeah, if you got your shipping email yesterday, they're for me to drop off at the parcel shop tomorrow. So I'll make sure that this is included in there for you as well. So you get both the Hyper 7 and the lovely artisan. I'll do that straight after the stream, and you'll get that tomorrow. So well done, really well played. Use a ruler, use a protractor. It was a fun, simple giveaway, guys. There'll be more giveaways in the future. You guys have, you know, got more chances of winning. Don't worry about that. So that was the giveaway. Thank you very much for playing, guys. That was good fun. I enjoyed that. And I'll get that out to you with the Hyper 7 tomorrow morning. Ms. Evil Genius. I don't know your real name. I'm really sorry. I probably should, because I probably addressed it to you. But yeah, there we go. Okay, so let's crack on with the build. So first things first, I'm going to move the case out of the way. We don't need that just yet. And then what we're going to do is we're going to start to put our stabilizers in the PCB. We'll do our usual clipping and lubing ceremony. If I can find some flush cutters, I'm going to try and do this really quickly. So let's just have a quick look at our PCB and plate. So for this build, we're going to need stabilizers for the spacebar, stabilizer for the ISO enter, stabilizer for the backspace key, and that's it. So just 3 sets of stabilizers, 6.25U space, nice and easy. So we'll start to put those together now. Double let's catch up. You got the shipping user protractor. Thanks so much, Jake. No, thank you for being one of my group buy joinees, attendees, all that kind of stuff. Stocks first the keyblade, now this. Fair enough, man. Fair enough. On top of that, are there any existence that are Miami themed? Dozens. You don't want all of them, but there are dozens. Yeah, you got a really nice shirt, Stocked. You got a really nice shirt, and I gave you the link to the Keyblade entry form and got him to keep it open a day for you, so you better have joined it. Maggie won't let you wear it. Oh, we've got Glove in the chat as well. Glove, I've literally just put some of your caps away about 20 minutes before the stream started. So thank you very much for those. I really enjoyed getting those at the meetup. DJ still wears his Zelio shirt I gave him a few years ago as well. Yeah, nice. Prime capped boxes. I've never seen the prime capped boxes, but that's what they come in now. That's what that one came in anyway. Why does Maggie hate the shirt? Probably because it's an awful colour. It's not really Stocks' colour, but the style really suits Stocks. A few years was only February. It feels like I've known you years, man. Yeah, you're probably right. It probably was only February. Maybe it's because I've had the shirts a couple of years. Maybe that's where I'm getting confused. I don't know. Anyway, right, time to do stabs. So, stabilizers from Fax, as always. I do have some lovely, upside down, I do have some lovely gold stabilizers as well, but we're not going to use those today. Those are going to be saved for when we do the copper build. And we're just going to tip these out. In fact, do you know what? Sorry, we'll use the gold ones because it'll match the brass nicely. So we'll use the gold ones. So we need that, and we need two 2U ones for this build. So there's just 3 stabilizers on the entire build. So these are from Zeal stabs. Please don't tell facts, guys. Let's put these away. Put what we don't need away back in here. Why would I spit in Fax's face like that? I like the gold ones. He doesn't sell me the gold ones, so that's how it goes sometimes. We need 2 housings for that stabilizer, 2 housings for the spacebar stabilizer, and 2 housings for that small stabilizer, which means we can put 2 more away. We need 2 inserts for the spacebar, 2 inserts for the small stabilizer, 2 inserts for the small stabilizer, 2 to go away, and then we need the screws for those as well. So these are GMK screw-in stabilizers, direct from Fax. Hit Fax up, he can sort you all out. He's really, really good with the stabilizers. Dead cheap, super quick shipping. Get in contact with him. So down to my famous tutorial on how to clip and lube stabs. The first thing we're going to do is look at the bottom of the stabilizer. You can see it's got 4 legs on it. We're going to clip the 2 legs, the shortest. So we're going to clip this leg here on this side here, front there, and then in this back corner as well, just up by this finger. So we're going to clip those 2. They're the thinnest legs. If you turn it on this side, you can see one of the thin legs just on the underside here. Terrible camera, I know. I'm just going to clip that, make sure it's flush on the bottom, clip both sides, and now it's only got 2 legs, and that will be much less mushier on usage. I'm going to do that really quickly for the other ones. So clip 1 leg. The 2 legs you clip are always diametrically opposed. They're always at opposite corners to each other, and the ones with the little nubbins on, you'll see them. They're the thinnest legs, nice and easy to identify. Clip them so they're flush. Really nice and easily. Just a pair of flush cutters. I think these were £4 from Amazon. Dead easy, dead cheap. You guys have all seen this before. You know what to do now. You know what to do. You know what the score is. Clip another one just there. Last one just here. Last one just there. And there. So that's all of the stabilizers clipped. What we're going to do now is put the stabilizers together, and then we'll lube them with a bit of silicone dielectric grease, which is over here. So stabilizers have got 2 holes in on one side and a single hole on the other side. You want the 2-hole side. You want to pop it into the housing with the 2 holes to the front. The front of the housing is where the wire can clip in. So you can see here that it's got little clips for the wire. The wire goes into the housing, into the bottom of the stabilizer, and it's the second hole, the bottom hole, and then clips into the front, just like so. Repeat that on the other side. 2 holes to the front, into the stabilizer housing, 2 holes to the front of the housing, stabilizer wire in through the housing, into the bottom of the stabilizer, the second hole, the lowest one down, the one at the bottom. How if I actually got this aligned, and then clip into the housing as well, nice and simply. So that's one done. I'm going to really quickly do the next 2. Don't go into my bottom hole dry, Jay. Remember, 2 holes into the front, into the housing, clip in nice and smoothly. Do the other side. Again, 2 holes to the front. Push it into the bottom of the housing, clip it in, jobs are good, and there we go. Last stabilizer, then we can really quickly lube these. Again, to the front, stabilizer wire in, clip it into the front, that's good. Last one now. Just going to pop that in here. And there we go, that's that done. Nice and easy. So the next thing we're going to do is lube the stabilizers. So again, I've got a separate brush that I use for lubing stabilizers. This one has a little plastic cap. We use silicone dielectric grease. Car Lube is my preferred brand. Nice, cheap and easy to use. Get some in the lid, put the tube to one side, dry off your brush a little bit, take your stabilizer, slide it out of the housing, dip your brush in, brush smooth on one side of the housing, on one side of the slider, and the other side underneath, back into the lube, into the back of the stabilizer where this housing is. That's where the metal wire just pokes through. Touch up the front wire, just where the wire connects to the stabilizer, just to stop any squeaking, just so you can see on that corner there. And then we'll take a rice sized grain and wipe it back to front to back, sorry, on the other side. And then we can repeat on the other side of the stabilizer. Lube one side, lube the other, into the back of the stabilizer, lube the front, flip it over, right size piece, front to back, on the bottom of the stabilizer. Job done. So just going to really quickly repeat that for the rest of these stabilizers. Take as quick as we can, try and get into the build for you guys a bit more. Once you get used to this, it's a really quick process, nice and easy. Plenty of lube still on the brush, so we don't need to dip it again. It's only about making sure that this is smooth. You never want to have too much lube on there. So it's only about making it smooth. That's all it's about. Just making it comfortable, not necessarily over lubing it to the point where you've got a mushy, horrible feeling stabilizer. That's not the way you want to do it. Okay, there's one more done. Last one that we're going to do now. Really quickly, just lube this, brush the lube onto one side, brush it onto the other side, dip back in, into the back of the housing, where the wire pokes through, you can just see there, touch just on the front, just where the stabilizer touches the plastic, and then on the bottom, a rice sized piece from front to back. Lube the other side, slider first, both sides, dip into the back, right into the back of the hole, touch up the front with what's left on the brush, just on the curve, nice and simple. Flip the stabilizer over, right size piece, front to back, wipe it along the stabilizer. Job done. And that's how we clip and lube stabilizers really, really quick. Let me just pop this away. This is why Welsh people don't do sun. No, you're right, DJ. Welsh people do sheep. They do. I've heard. It's a joke. I don't know. Who knows? Who knows? Bledin's the man to ask on that. Who I suspect is who you're talking to. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're now going to install the stabilizers into the PCB. So we're going to use our ISO. If you offer this up to the plate, you can see where all of the switches go. So this is probably the easiest way to get your stabilizers in. So we're going to start with the ISO. So we know it wants to go around there. We can see where it wants to be. See that here are the marks. There's the cutouts. Stabilizer clips into one side just there. It clips into the other side just there. And then we'll put the screws in the bottom in a second. We know for the backspace, they want to go just up here. Stabilizers just clip in like so. Nice and simple. Spacebar. If you're ever unsure, put your plate over the top. You can see that the spacebar wants to sit just around here. It tells you which holes are which that you want to use. So we want to use this one here and this one just here. Clip in. Check that they're all moving nice and freely. And what we're going to do is we're just going to turn it over and we're going to screw those down with a quick screwdriver. Couldn't use a new plate with that old PCB and just use plate mount stabs. You could do, yes. I don't like plate mount stabs. I like nice PCB mount stabs. That's one of the reasons why we went for this this particular PCB, and we decided to change it. I'd still have had to have a plate cut, so that's one thing as well. Don't over tighten your screws. Remember, your stabilizers are just the screws are just to hold the stabilizers in place. You're not tightening this so it starts to crush your PCB. Just check where you're screwing it in as well. See if you're going to cover any joins or any other connectors. You may end up with a short depending on where you're screwing in. So just double check that as well. These ones that I'm screwing in, I've got nothing around them, so there's nothing to short out. Just screwing these in nice and simply. Try and get it so you guys can see. Nice and simple, nice and steady. Never too tight, just as tight as you need to. Any ideas how to glue the brash Spiny special plate to the Spiny special case? Thinking, is it plastic that is going on to Spiny? If it is, then I would just use some sort of resin type glue, epoxy resin, something like that. Gorilla Glue does a version. I'd just use that, a really thin layer. That would be my favoured way of doing it, I suspect. Just making sure that your stabilisers aren't going to cut into any of the circuits, cross any holes, touch any contact points, and then we're good to go. If they are, you can just use small thin paper washers. You'll try that? Yeah, let me know how it goes. If it does get stuck, you can get a Gorilla Glue remover as well, which undoes it all. That's all of the stabilisers in place. They're all nice and tight, but not too tight so that we're crushing the plate in any place. There we go. So that's our plate all built up. Going to be ISO, and that sits nicely. Sorry, the PCB all built up. And that sits nicely just like so, and you can see that's going to have a nice little layout in it. So the next thing to do is just start popping in switches. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pop them in, push them through into the PCB as well. These are PCB mount switches. As you can see, we've got the extra pins on the bottom there, so they should hold nice and tight to the PCB. I haven't screwed the plate fully into the case as yet. Just something we'll do after we've built it properly. So we're just going to push these in, he says. Switches are really tight in the plate. And before I've had it cut for Alps or something stupid. We'll come back to that one in a second. I think what I might do actually is I might just quickly take the plate out of this. Need a smaller bit. Here we go. Take these out. So this is a top mount plate, so we can always come back and put these in afterwards anyway. We can get to these once the switches are in place as well. So just remove those two screws, slide the plate out, and then flip it back over. So just trying to get this one in. Oh my gosh, this is really tight in the plate. There we go, that clips in really firmly. Offer it up to the PCB. Make sure you've got everything aligned, your space bars, your stabilisers. And there we go, that's it into the PCB. What we're going to do is just going to dot a few of these around the board, trying to make it all attach nicely. We'll pull it away from the PCB first and we'll attach them afterwards. This may be one because it's so tight that we have to push them all in first and then come back to pushing the PCB in. My word, these are tight. I'll give Laser Boost one thing, they stick to the tolerances really well. Let's just make sure we're not scratching anything. I'm just going to move this underneath. There we go. Move the screws out of the way. Let's have a look. Hammer them in. Yeah, why not? Why not? I think it's actually the cuts of the switches. They are slightly different to normal MX switches. Okay, I can't get that one in. So I'm going to go get Paul back. We might need him. May have to use pliers on this. We'll see. Okay, let's try some of the other switches. Maybe we just need to nip these switches tight together. Yeah, I might have to use a rubber mallet, maybe something like that to get these in. I mean, they are really, really tight. Once they're in, they're fine. It's just getting them in. I think it's the size of the switches. Interestingly, let's just try a standard MX switch and see what we get. Let's just see. Standard Zelio. Let's just see how tight these are to push in. So this is interesting. They go straight in. So this is the switches. Yeah, these switches are really, really tight. So please do bear that in mind, because that went in straight away. Let's have a look and see if we can work out why. Okay, I think they are just a little touch wider. I think that's the trick. Yeah, just a little touch wider. I think that's what's happening. Just had to stretch the fuck out of switch holes now as well. Yeah, well, this is Outemu, not Kale, so. But yes, it looks that way. It looks like these are really, really, really tight to get in. We'll just try pushing this in. Try and get it level as going. Okay, so I think the trick is just make sure that you're pushing them in level, pushing them in even, and then we'll go in from there then. As soon as you start to get an angle on them, I think that's when you're going to start to have problems. Next up, they're going to stretch our springs. Maybe. But this is Outemu, not Kale. I'd rather have my switches tight than not tight. That's one way of looking at it. Okay, so we build a bit of a rhythm now. They're going to go in now. We can see that. Here we go. Here we go. They are really, really stiff though, especially compared to normal switches. The Zelios I just tried a second ago. And so you have to push them in dead square, otherwise they ain't going in. That seems to be the happenstance. Some seem to be tighter than others. We'll come back and we'll fix that one in a minute. Yeah, some of these are really, really super tight. I think it's the switches more than the tolerances from the plate manufacturer. I wonder if we do this on the desk, if we can get a bit more pressure behind it. Don't want to risk bending the plate. Yeah, difficult to get in, man. Having to bend the plate a little bit. Okay, it's one thing we're learning. So we're learning new things about switches. Every day's a school day and all that. Yeah, I don't want to push too hard. We'll come back to the ones we don't get in properly. I can always try and push them in with some pliers or something similar. Seems to be on the width rather than the height, so across this way rather than the height of the switch. That seems to be the issue. Not really comfortable with that. Yeah, it just seems to be nipping the switch. As I say, no problems with Zelios, so I think this must be just a switch issue. The switches are slightly larger than what we're used to, so anything with a really tight plate tolerance is going to be affected. Might just try nipping the contact points in, see if that helps. That would be a no. Well, this might scupper the build a little bit, guys, because if I can't get these switches in, we might have to cancel the build and come back at a later date. But it does, what it does look like is it actually looks like the I don't know if this will zoom in enough, but it looks like the pins from the top of the case, the teal top, just protrude a little bit further. So it's hard for me to show you on here, but I hope you can see that the gap here is smaller than it is here. And I think what that is that's where it's blocking the switch. But they don't seem to want to clip together any better. Which is really interesting. Really interesting. Get the belt sander on them. It can be a 13%. Yeah, we could do that. We could do that. Okay, we've got that one in. I think maybe just a case of checking the switches, just making sure that those gaps, like here, aren't quite so large. Maybe just nip them tighter with my teeth. That seems to fix it, so let's just check them all, make sure that none of them are like that. Looks like that was the issue, guys. Just replace this one that was a little bit out. Probably not best to put too many of these in your mouth. Don't know where they've been. Sure they're fine. Paul's a good guy. He's not going to send me dirty switches. Yeah, some of these are still not going in, so I don't think it's just that. I think it's just the fact that some of these switches are just a touch wider than we expect them to be. Let's try and knit these together a bit better. Yeah, the switches were opened. I didn't open them. They come disassembled. They haven't been opened by myself. These were all unopened. Max, yeah, that's probably true. I probably should use official Cherry switches, maybe. Yeah, I think that's what it is. They just slightly don't fit together in the top corner properly. As soon as I'm adjusting these and fitting them in, they're going in just fine. They're still a touch tighter, but yeah, we'll get there. Making some progress now, folks. Making some progress. That's what this is all about, making progress. Yeah, it looks like nearly every single one. I don't know if it's a design for the switch, so I'll speak to Paul about it offline, but it seems like nearly every single switch is afflicted by this. That one should be okay. I imagine with a lot of switches, guys, you're going to be okay. You're not going to have this problem at all, and probably with a lot of plates, you won't have this issue. I suspect with any of the mass manufactured plates, you'll be absolutely fine, and you won't have the issue. Yeah, I don't think it's the flex. I think it's literally just the width of the switch. It is slightly wider than a standard switch. But you can kind of see actually when I'm looking at it from this perspective how it's just catching. I think this one now just clips it like that, and that should go straight in now, I would imagine. Let's see. Conscious this one isn't on stream for you guys to see. Yeah, okay. I can do a measurement later on. I've got some calipers in the garage. I can measure the switches. As I say, I'm just going to make sure these are nipped close. I don't know if you guys heard that there was a little click as I clicked it close. It's a little bit more faffy than I'm used to on a switch. Yeah, again, we've got the problem here, so I'm just going to nip that closed. I'll have a look with some calipers. Got to do a bit of science. That's always the best thing in the world, just a bit of science. But yeah, just nipping them with these switch openers. Max, you might actually remember this. Do you recognise this? You must recognise it. Thank you very much for it, fam. Okay, we're cooking on gas now. These are working. An extra step per switch. Just nip the legs back in. And we're cooking on gas. Yes, you did buy me. I just said that, man. You bought me, dude. Thank you very much for it. It's coming really useful. I'm not sure if you guys can hear that little click when I push the switch with the switch opener or the switch remover tool. IC extractor, whatever they're called. But there's a little tiny click. Let me see if you can hear this. There, I don't know if you heard that. Thank you, Max. Thank you for being welcome. Okay, let's just have a look at some of these ones back here that we didn't get before. Now we know what the issue is, we can probably adjust these and fix. Still not having it. Might take that switch out and use it later. Try and fix it for another position. That one as well. You hear it loud and clear. Yeah, it's slightly concerning. I'll have a chat with Paul about it because I'm sure they weren't designed to be like this. Just plug these gaps. Even with this though, it's still much tighter than the Zelios were. So it is interesting that these switch have got a different tolerance almost. So we'll measure that later on. I'll get some numbers for you guys. Everyone loves the numbers. Outemu design. Well, they must have been, Max. Let's be honest. Let's be realistic. It may be down to the blue plastic being different. Some of these switches actually are fine. They don't have this tolerance issue when you look at them. So, and it's not from me pushing the lids together because they just won't push together anymore. You actually have to click the little leg in. So I might take some more apart and have a look later on. The good news is the switches are looking good in the plate. I really like how these are looking. Control C, Control V. Max, you need that on a t-shirt, dude. Here we go, we're cooking on gas. Moving on up. Yeah. Still killing my thumbs. Still killing my thumbs. Yeah, the stream's still going on. A little bit of a delay. We shouldn't be too much longer now. The switches are slightly different in tolerance size, we've discovered. So some great science ongoing, which means they're harder to push into the plate. Just one of those things. But they do just clip in nicely. Now we know what we're doing. Just going to double check the PCB, make sure that being a keyboard fan's one, it doesn't change the angle of the switch or anything like that. It doesn't, luckily. Nothing wrong with playing piano, man. It's a noble pursuit. Seem a little bit tighter at the edge of it. See you soon, James. See you soon. Yeah, you can still hear these clicking in. Yeah, they do take a little bit of beating. Which way around does our ISO enter want to be? It wants to be this way. Bizarrely, but it's keyboard fans. Okay, now this one doesn't want to go in. This is a tight fit. There we go. Oh, the piano music. That might be the music I've got on in the background, dude. Nice bit of lo-fi. Yeah, the Sky Squishes are good. I like the feel of them. I haven't used them in a board yet. I'll let you guys know what I think of them once I've had this up and running for a few days. I can't remember. I think I bought a few hundred from Paul, and I think I paid something like 50 pence a switch or something, or 50 cents a switch. I don't know. They weren't massively expensive. $50 a switch, I'm going to say. we go. Yeah, that's what I'm listening to, DJ. That's what we have on in the background. I think that's what everyone has on in the background recently. There we go. $60 shipping. Yeah, probably. Some of these switches are fine actually. They've clicked together just fine. They're not going to need this this adjustment, I'm going to call it. I feel like a chiropractor doing adjustments. It's really frustrating though. Really slowing down the build. That one looks okay. Some hard Dutch dance tunes usually. I couldn't put that on a stream, dude. That would be a little bit too much. Don't forget, guys, you need to remind me when we get to the space bar that I'm using the other switch. Hardcore radio 24/7. Yeah, it's probably not my kind of thing. Maybe when I was your age, not now. Now I'm a bit older. I need things a little bit quieter. A little bit quieter. Okay, so we're getting there. Almost there now. Not listening to Cannibal Corpse. I haven't listened to Cannibal Corpse since I was maybe 30, so maybe 3 years or so since I last listened to it. Stocks, if you give me some headphones when we're next together, I'll listen to anything you want me to listen to, man. Genuinely, if you're interested in it, I'm interested in it. That's just how it is. That's how these things go. I do like Chris's taste in music as well. Chris Swires, we both share a little bit of an eclectic taste in music. Driving down to the meetup last week, we were listening to some Placebo, a band neither of us have seen in maybe 10 years, but an old favourite of ours. Some of you guys won't even know who Placebo are. Max, you'll know who Placebo are, I hope. Okay, we've got no Toby today either, so there'll be no pizza on stream. Doggo might appear later on though. Not listening to... Max, watch your language, man. Watch your language. This is a Christian server. Pi Parker loves Placebo. Max loves Placebo. Yeah, great band. It was really, really good to listen to some of their tunes on the way back down to Birmingham the other day. Thoroughly enjoyed that. And then Zui got in the car and the he broke the cable, so we couldn't listen to it anymore. We had to listen to the crappy radio from there on in. Never heard of them, Stocks. Send me some links, I will listen to them. Maximo Park, that's a name I've not heard in a long time. Weren't my favourites, but weren't terrible. Pop music is satanic. Yes. Little known fact, the one thing I dislike about my Noxary 268 AG is what the AG stands for in terms of the name. Not what it stands for in principle, and I'm not sure how much Zondak's released on this, but there was 22 of the AG boards, and it was because of the attacks in Manchester a couple of years ago. That's where I did it, and the AG actually stands for Ariana Grande. Now that's probably a secret I'm probably not supposed to tell you, so I didn't mention that. But I'm not a fan of Ariana Grande's music, but I completely up for what she stood for when those terrorist attacks happened, and when that bomb went off. So, you know, it's a cause close to my heart. But please, that was probably not for sharing, so don't go spouting it off and saying that it was me that told you guys. Okay, we're getting there now, making some steam. Nearly another row done. Plate's getting some wear already. Whew. you'll still sing along when a song's going. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think there's any such thing as bad music. Everyone likes something out there. Just the same as there's no bad layout choices and there's no bad switches if you like them. If someone likes something, that's how it is. They like it. We're going to go step caps on this. This is the only key switch that can be adjustable on this plate. It's the only thing that's not fixed, but we're going to turn underglow off, so we'll never know it's there. Good music is good music. Yep, and good cake is good cake. Yep, I agree. Just going to bring the rest of these switches up so I'm not reaching over for them. Okay, we're getting there now, come on. Just realised I didn't try and fix that switch, but it's gone in alright. Some of these are just fine, they're still really stiff to get in, but they're going in just fine now. Some of them just aren't, and some of them are just miles off, but just clipping the legs back in seems to help, but they're still really tight. As you guys can hear clicking them into the plate, they're super tight. Something holes, something tight, I don't know, you guys can make the jokes. So yeah, I'd like to hear people's thoughts from the meetup as well. See if everyone liked seeing everyone else's boards. Did everyone agree with who we voted on as the winners of the event as well? Zui with his exempt board getting first place, and the other boards coming second and third as well. Did anyone disagree with those? Maybe want to challenge that? I think Nick Tushkin took second place with his MX 5000. I can't remember who was third now, I was a little bit drunk at the time. DJ got a free board, he won, yeah. Stocks didn't win a Keyblade. You know, you did come closer, you got an honourable mention, man. What was Zui third? Oh yeah, I can't remember. I was drunk and I've slept since then. Zui also won one of my giveaways as well. He got his name pulled out for that. Kai and his Kira, of course it was Mousy and his switches. Yes, Mousy and his switches. That did win first prize. Yes, you're right now. His Kira 60 with his switches that he'd had engraved with his name. Overkill to the extreme. I absolutely loved it. Yes, how could I forget that? Why didn't I get a key bag? Pipebacker, why didn't I get one? I would have loved one. I could have shown it off on stream for you. I don't know how many people are watching today. Probably fewer than last week. I think I didn't advertise anywhere near as much that we're doing this today. Okay, just a few more switches left to go. He won a group by entry. Ah, okay. So he didn't get one of the existing ones. I see. How about you give me one for every board I have in my collection? Yeah? Something like that? I think we can make a deal on that. Okay, these switches on the edges are super tight. Man, my thumbs are absolutely killing me after doing this. But we're getting there, we're almost done, we're building up. Oh, I didn't mean pay, no, I thought you'd just let me have them. Damn it. Yeah, it would bankrupt me, Use a different thumb. I only have two and both of them are killing me now. Stocks, come here, I'll use you instead. You can see they're all going in there now. They're nice and flush on the bottoms. One board we don't have to check the bottom layout as well, because there is only one layout on this. The PCB fits it, the plate fits it, and that's all we can do. We can't do anything different. So it's not where we have one of these builds where we have to put the caps on to test it. Just going to push these last ones in now. If you give anyone a bag for the whole collection, I'm a better option. I have 3. Doctor, it hurts when I poke my forehead, my chest, my knee, my ankle. I hurt all over. It's because you've broken your finger. Yeah. Somebody has ordered 13. How many boards would that fit in? Is it any of the double ones where you'd fit 2 boards in? The thing with my boards is once they're built, I like to display them. Oh, do you know what? You didn't remind me, guys. Space bar, you didn't remind me. What are you guys like? What are you guys like? Okay, 2 more switches to go, and then we are done. Okay, I'm just going to try and fix one of these switches that we used earlier. There's a chat delay. Yeah, there is a little bit of a chat delay. Yeah, okay. There we go, all in finally. So let's now sit this onto the PCB. Let me just get rid of these bits and pieces off here. Okay, good. Okay, so next job is to just make sure all of these switches will sit into the slots. So just going to have a look underneath, make sure they all fit. It looks like there's some slightly off. No, looking all good here. All good down the board. Maybe some slight challenges here. No. Okay, that was relatively painless. Nice and easily put together. All the switches should be nice and flush. If we look down the ends, you can see they're all nice and flush there. All nice and flush along that row there. Again, all nice and flush down there. And then all nice and flush at the front as well. Excellent. So that went together really well. What we're going to do now is we're going to come on to the soldering. So I'm just going to move a few things out of the way. This isn't how worn-up keyboards does it. Well, Pete can do them however he wants, man. Pete is his own man. He makes his own decisions. He can do his build in his own way. No way's the right way, no way's the wrong way. If you like the end result, it doesn't matter what anyone else thinks. This game is all about preference, all about doing it your way, all about making sure that you're happy with what you're doing, and not about what anybody else thinks. Okay, so we are now ready to solder. So as I said before, today has been a bit of a challenge on the solder front for me because I've run out, and I didn't get to see Tobbles during the week because Toby was going to give me some more solder from some of his Kester. I was going to try that out, so I had to run to B&Q, and I bought this, which is 5.5 times thicker than what I normally use. So I have tested it. It does melt at the same temperature, but it may be more difficult to solder with. I have no idea. We'll see how we get on. So same temperature as always, 340 odd degrees, 350 degrees, give or take. And we're just going to tack in a switch in each corner to begin with. Okay, yeah, this sort of solder is very different to what I'm used to using. So the solder is really thick. Doesn't do necessarily a bad job, but it does make it a lot harder to use. Okay, that's not too bad. So we're just going to do one in each corner to begin with. melts a little bit slower, but it does melt, which is the main thing. Also splashes a little bit more. Just get one in each corner done, and we'll clean the solder iron, and then we'll go properly for this. And literally just tacking these switches in, and that's just to make sure we don't get any movement in the plate or the PCB as we move forwards. Yeah, this is not as easy to use as thinner solder, but it's doing the job. It's getting us there. So since realising this mistake, I have gone out and bought a pound reel of solder myself, of Kester solder, so that will do the job. So that's just one switch in each corner, just tacked together. Just finish that one off a little bit better. Okay, so what we're going to do now is just go up and down the rows, try and be as smooth and as fast as we can on this one, and then we'll put the board together and see what it looks like. Yeah, this solder's super duper thick and very difficult to get to stick to the pins. It isn't rosin cord either, which makes it even harder to use. So I'll be glad when we don't have to use this solder on a regular basis. Next switch is here. Good thing about this though is the switches do look nice on the white and on the brass. They are lovely coloured switches. They're a very, very nice shade of teal. I am really pleased with the colour of them. I think it works really well. I'd be interested to know what you guys think, whether you guys prefer just a standard colour to your switches or whether you don't mind having something a little bit different, a little bit more usable. Stocks, I imagine you want a pink switch, man. I imagine you want a baby pink switch. That's what I think you'd want. Okay, give this a clean. You wish you would, do you want to do it faster? We can do it faster or we can do it nice and slow. Don't know which you prefer, man. Yeah, I've dyed switches before. Mouse's dyed switches. They didn't come out quite like what these Outemu have come out like. I dyed mine purple, sorry, and green. I'm just going to redo this switch. Not happy with that solder joint. Okay, that's better. Where's the space bar? The space bar is here. Okay, lots and lots of splashback off this solder. It is not as nice to, oh gosh, I'm going to ruin the board here. Okay, yeah, this is not nice solder to use. I'm just going to try and take this through. Yeah, Total does builds. How much does it cost for build? I don't build for the people, man. I build for myself. I did do a board for Daniel last week, and I did do one the week before for Mel, but that's few and far between. I'm going to turn the temperature up on this. 390. See if that helps. Yeah, this is really thick solder, guys. Okay, so I think we've rescued that bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, so yeah, this is really, really thick solder, guys. It's so difficult to use compared to what I'm used to. Maybe I'm just pushing too much in because I'm not used to being so thick. Okay, that's good. I sold at 400 with leaded solder. Well, this is unleaded, and I'm soldering at 390. It was melting at 350, but I think it feels a little bit easier, more pliable at this current temperature. The fact that there's no rosin core is really making it hard to use. that being said, we'll get the job done. It'll work. It is working. Max is off. Jay pushing in a thick one. Yeah. E6V2 is a little meh. Yeah, title of professional build if you want someone. Yeah. Who did the E6? Tell me, who did the E6? Which E6? MX Silence. Oh, nice Tidal getting his form out. Yeah, good. Get some builds. If anyone wants build doing, get Tidal, guys. He's really good. I've been really surprised by the quality of some of his builds in the past. He's really churning out some great boards. Professional build services to the extreme. Jay, speaking of memes, what do you think the market price of SKCM Browns is? Too much. I've seen them as high as new old stock for $10 each. I've seen them on average about $5 each. I think $3.50 is probably the maximum I would pay per one. Span, love you man. Go watch the news. Love you, dude. Too much when salmons are superior. I don't prefer salmons, but I do like them. I think browns are probably the nicest Alps switch I've tried. That's just for me. Again, it's personal preference, guys. You like what you like. You should never be shamed for that. If people are shamed for what they like, Stocks would never show his face anywhere. Tree Fiddy, thanks. Yeah, let's see what you paid, dude. Salmons are good, yeah. Oranges are bad, I would agree. I'm not a fan of oranges. Well, Parky, you said you were going to tell me as well if I made it onto your family's TV today, or if I was relegated to the PC still. It would be good to know how that ended up. Okay, we're getting there. We are getting there now. So I think this is very much a case of just add a tiny bit. It's so thick as this solder that what I would add in 3 or 4 inches on my previous solder, that's like, you know, a centimetre maybe on this. So it's really thick stuff. But it's going now, it's working. Just needed to adjust my my style. And we're getting some speed up now. I don't think we'll put LEDs in this build. I think we'll leave it as nice sky switches and brass. I think that'll look lovely. I'm more and more moving away from LEDs these days as well. Right, okay. You're in the office today. Oh well. One day I'll make it onto your TV, man. One day. I'm just kidding. I don't mind. I am excited to see what this board looks like when I finish putting it together. We have got a keycap set ready for this one as well. No prize, but if anyone can guess what it is, it's sat over in that corner just behind my glass. You might be able to see it from there, you might not. If one of you can zoom in, you'll probably be able to tell what it is. Tidal will know as well, he knows what it is. Man, this solder takes a long time to set. Remind me, folks, never to buy rubbish solder again. If you ever see me using this stuff on stream again, just severely condone me for it. You need switches done. Yeah, hit Tidal up, man. He'll do what you need. How many barons are on a 5140? Yeah, it's 54 Pi Parker, so you need a few more if you're going to do 60%. Wilcox solder works well enough for me. Stocks, yes, I am doing it for you. I prefer really good quality solder, that, you know, 60-40 rather than this, which is not leaded at all. I know that it's not legal these days in electronics from a consumer perspective, but if I'm making it myself, I want to use solder that I'm comfortable with. You can get by with this. I mean, the job's going just fine. I just think some nicer solder would make it faster and be easier to do, easier to use. I've seen some poor soldering jobs in the time, and I think that 90% of it is because people have got unleaded solder. Wilco's is 6040. Okay, good to know. I'll hit them up if I ever need any more. But as I say, I've got a big roll of cast solder coming, which is 10 times what's on this roll. So it weighs a full pound. That's coming hopefully next week. So for next stream, when we're doing Nixie builds or the secret build that Dixie Mech has sent me, we'll be able to show that as well. Or maybe it'll even be the Alps build at that point. Who knows? Who knows? We'll see where we get to. We will see where we get to. I think the trick with soldering it is just take your time sometimes. Don't rush it. Let it happen naturally. Try not to let it get too hot. There we go. Well, this solder is splashing something chronic as well. So that's something else that doesn't happen on Royston cord solder. You don't get solder splashes. This one that's like having your hands near a frying pan that's going off. It's really solder splashy. I suspect that's because I'm having to keep the temperature up, but it makes the solder much more usable at this temperature. Wilco's can't come from the phone right now. Dave, it's me, man. I got the stuff. Dave's not here. Don't know if any of you guys are old enough to recognise that. Okay, we're getting there now. We're moving slowly but surely in the right direction. Yeah, rubbish solder and a rubbish solderer are not a good mix. But we're getting there, we're getting there, we're moving along. I'm doing D letter now. I don't know if Evil Genius, Cheech and Chong it was, yes, Cheech and Chong, yeah. $2.77, that's not bad. $2.77 is good for those, I think that's good. Yeah, we're moving now. I know this must be really boring, folks, watching me solder. I'd tell you jokes, but I'm terrible jokes. In fact, I've got a couple of jokes for you. See if anyone knows what this is. So, what is this? Grr, arr, grr. See if anyone knows what that is. No one's guessing, so I guess no one knows what it is, or is this just chat delay? It is a dad joke, yes. No. It's a terrorist. Grr, arg, a terrorist. Anyway, terrible joke. Yeah, I like to act like a child. Keeps everyone on their toes, keeps me feeling young. If you think that, what's this one? Grr, arr, grr, arr. It's a vicious circle. Yep, 2 drums and a cymbal fell off a cliff. Missing. Oh, we almost missed the ISO enter out. The best key on the board, and we almost missed it out here. Look, telling jokes, missing keys. You think that's your cue to leave? Maybe. I wouldn't hold it against anyone. Okay, so we're almost getting there now. I'll just finish this off, and then we'll put the board together. We'll see what it looks like. We'll put some keycaps on it, do a really quick sound test, I'll probably only put one row of keycaps on, try and keep it quick, and then take some pictures later on. I'll share those with you on Discord and Reddit probably. I might even put it on Keep Talk, see if anyone's interested. Too late to order another pizza. Toby, yeah, too late for another pizza. Thank you for that last week though, man. That was a really good surprise. Made the stream. It was really cool. And Toby, I'm really disappointed I didn't get to see you this week. Mainly because I didn't get to see you, but also because I didn't get to get some solder off you, which means I'm having to use crappy stuff from B&Q. So hopefully I'll get some more. I've already ordered some more Kester solder, so hopefully that'll turn up in the next week or so. Because I'm still not sure when I'm down in London next. You fancy pizza but you're not hungry enough, then you order it, you eat what you want now, and then you eat the rest for breakfast. There is never a bad time to get pizza. Never a bad time. You fell asleep right after work. You lazy sod. Yeah, I'll grab some solder off you next week, dude, when I'm down. I'm hoping to come down to London Tuesday with work. We'll see. Man, this solder splashes and stings like a mother. I nearly swore then. Wow, it's really hot. Really hot. Let's try and keep my fingers away a little bit better. I had a nap after chilling by the pool. Nice. I did that a couple of weeks ago on honeymoon. An automatic solder dispenser by now. Yeah, maybe. How are they finding the PCB? That's a very northern way of putting it, Tobbles. Yeah, the PCB's alright. The PCB's fine. It's keyboard fans. It does the job. It's all we need. It will do the job just fine. Sadly, we couldn't use the Zondat Noxary PCB because it didn't support the layouts that I needed it to. So yeah, it also doesn't have stabilizers for some of the other keys as well. Like if you're going to go with ANSI, it didn't have stabilizers for left shift either. So you would have had to do an ISO left shift anyway. So there is a number of challenges with that PCB. I can't remember if anyone claimed it, but if anyone did want it, they can have it. Okay, we're getting there now. Just this row and one more row, and then we're done. I'll try and speed up a little bit. Glad when I don't have to use this solder anymore, we can go back to using the usual stuff that's really quick and easy to use. But we'll get there. We'll be fine. Oh, did DJ claim it? Yeah, if DJ claimed it, I'll send it out to him. He's a good lad. I'm sure he'd PM me about it already. Yeah, if you've got dibs, PM me and I'll sort you out with it. I've got some blank ones as well. If anyone really wants a blank PCB with no components on, just let me know. I'll send it out to you. Oh man, those graphic novels, they're still sat in my drawer here actually, man. I need to get them out to you. I do need to get them out to you. Let me know when you're back, Bled, and I'll post them out. Yeah, maybe I should get an automatic solder dispenser. I think Nathan Kim's got one now, actually. I know he was talking about it a while back. I don't know if he was joking or if he was being serious, but I think he's got one. Maybe it's someone else I'm thinking of. I don't know. Man, the splashback of this solder is horrendous. Let's try and do this. Sadly we had to sell a board yesterday, and I don't usually sell boards, but when the chance to get a board off of Dixie Mech came up, that's my end game, It had to be done, sadly, so my TX75 is now no longer with me. Well, it is, it's sat outside the room at the minute, but that's going with the Hyper 7s, the last of the Hyper 7s to be posted tomorrow. So I've got a big trip to the delivery office. I think I've got 16 parcels to drop off there, and then 3 that need to go to the post office. So busy morning ahead tomorrow to try and get all those out. Ms. Evil Genius, MS Evil Genius, Ms. I don't know which way around it is. I cannot wait for you to get your Hyper 7. I can't wait for you to get your Artisan. And I really want to see what you do with your Hyper 7. So when you do build it, just send me a picture, share it with me, whatever you want to do. I would love to put it on stream. I'd love to share it with people. I really can't wait to see what people do with those boards. Are you in Greece, in Rhodes? Lovely. Waiting for an ANSI board for a while, to be honest. Will mean I can get max KSA. It's just a PCB, man. It's not the whole board. It's just a PCB. You can build what you want with it, dude. It will fit in a keyboard 75. It'll fit in some other bits and pieces. You could hand wire your own. You can have the plate that came with it as well, the original Noxary X75 prototype plate if you want. Maybe you do a hand wire then, sorry, not a hand wire, a custom case then, 3D print or something. Don't know, you can have whatever you want, dude, apart from a full board. But I'm aware, Jane, I'll have an ANSI board using a PCB though. Yeah, you will do, yeah. It should be some Midlands, it does. It's MS, but I'm not really fussed when you gets it wrong. I'm super excited too that it maybe take a while. I have plans. You have plans, please share them with me. I don't know if you're on the Discord, but if you are, do hit me up. I would love to chat about your plans. I love projects and stuff like that. As people know, I've got dozens of boards and builds and all sorts of stuff. So do hit me back up. James is back. Hopefully H is with you. If she is, hi H. Missed you since the other week. We need to catch up again soon. James, you need to come visit and we'll do your Hyros build at mine. And we might even get on stream, dude. That'd be good, wouldn't it? If you came around, spent the night at mine, we had some few beers, we did a stream. That'd be really good. Where are you in Brum? So MS Evil Genius, MS, I'm just going to call you MS. Did you come say hi to me? Did I say hello? Because I couldn't carry your board down, unfortunately, otherwise I would have taken the Hyper 7 there. But I just had too many other bits and pieces. But did we say hello? Because if we did, I'm really sorry that I didn't realise. I'm glad you said hi, James. I'm glad you said hi. Because if so, you were about the only person I couldn't ID. Knew everyone else. Might fill your X's gash with some Mod Podge. What? Oh, 8 times. Oh, okay, I see. I really hope we did say hello, MS. I really hope we did. And I'm really sorry that if we did and I don't remember, because I'm an idiot like that. I bought you a drink in a round. I think I bought everyone drinks. Oh, I'm trying to picture the face. Oh, maybe he meant Pie Parker. I'm not sure who you meant now, dude. I'm not sure who you meant. If you meant me, I think I bought everyone a drink at some point that was out with us. I know when this thing again. Did you come out for the meal as well then? Or was it just afterwards when we were in the bars? Gouty, I did buy you a drink actually. When you came back to my hotel, I bought you a drink there. When they had to reopen the bar for us, you did get a drink out of me. You'll be there next time for a free drink. Yeah, yeah. As we did in the club that we went in after the meal place. As we didn't buy any drinks from there, I don't think. I think he used my card in that one. I think it was me that paid. You remember MX Dildo? Oh gosh, are you the guy with the long hair that was sat next to me when I was talking to Amber? Not Amber, yeah, Sierra, yeah. Oh, it's starting to come back to me now. Gary, I paid in cash for it at the bar. I just paid in cash there and then. I didn't put it on my room. I just paid in cash. But then if you came out with me and Swires, you would probably end up dead. Anarchy tried to keep up and he couldn't. Gouty was drunk and he only joined us later on. Or didn't keep up with us, as far as I recall. But it was a heavy night, I think 6 old fashions in one club at one point were drunk. That was a struggle. I do know that in total I spent about 200 quid on alcohol, so yeah. But it was well worth it to catch up with you guys. Yeah, I know now. I know. I've got you. I've got your number. I can picture you now. Yes, MX Dildo, a classic. You can drink more than sensible. Yep, I do as well. You ended up watching late night TV with 20 nuggets in your room. I think it was about 3 o'clock when we got kicked out of the hotel bar, wasn't it, Gary? About 3 AM in the morning, something like that. It must have been that sort of time. Okay, we're almost there now, guys. Almost done. This has been a pain of a build, but we're getting there now. I do hope the copper plate goes together a lot faster and a lot simpler than this. Man, this solder spits and sparks. It's hot as hell. There we go. Perfect. You think you left before it? You didn't go so far. They closed it up as soon as I ordered, and no money changed hands unless you paid for it after I left. I'd already bought the drinks, Gouty, so we went to the bar, ordered the drinks, you got the drinks, I paid for them while you guys were sitting down, and then they shut the bar back up. I think that's what happened. No, it's better looking bleeding than you. Sorry, mate. Right, okay. It's a little hazy. Yeah, it was a long night, was that, man? It was a long night. It was good, though. Really thoroughly enjoyed it. Anyway, that's the board soldered. It's all nicely soldered together. We're almost ready to go, ready to rock and roll. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop this into the case top. Just slot it in there. We're just going to tack it in place for now, just with 2 screws, 1 in each corner. I'll go around and do the rest of them later. I think we needed the small one for this. One thing I do need to buy is Allen keys on a screwdriver, or the connectors for it certainly. Hold on. Being a prototype, the holes are slightly misaligned, so getting these in isn't necessarily the easiest thing. There we go, that's going in now. No, it's not hard, man. I just like to point it out for you, just so you're fully aware. Olivia's here. Olivia, the moderator, joining right at the end of the stream. Good job, Olivia. Glad to see you, though. Noxary X75 prototype is just about built. We're just literally tacking it together now with these screws. I'll finish the rest of that off later as well. Using Outemu. Jay tries to force his way into a hole. I'm good at that, man. It's one of my favourite pastimes. Oops. Okay, so there we go. That's all in place. We'll finish that off later on. I'm just going to grab the board now and just take off the existing top. So Olivia, doesn't this look good with the brass? Look at that, Olivia. How nice is that? Am I using creams? No, the only creams that I've got are currently sat with Chris Wise, Olivia, but I hope that I will get them soon. Where have I tacked this? This one's tacked in. Yeah, Olivia's famous. She's also very, very attractive. Don't tell my wife I said that. She could probably hear me. She's probably sat outside the door. Olivia, we're pleased to note as well that your Hyper 7 is on its way now. You should have tracking, and it will be with you in just a few days. That key set's included as well. Gouty, you are a stallion of a man. You are an absolute stallion of a man. So there we go. We're going to just take that top and move it out of the way. We're going to build it with this top as we discussed before. Just want to make sure we get this right for the USB port. That's all nicely aligned. Just going to tighten these back up now. What is Brum? Brum's Birmingham. Not sure how you feel about the bump-ons. Well, bump-ons are there for a reason. I don't mind having bump-ons. I think it's a good thing. Oh, the thing that banged was just the Allen keys. They're not the best ones. These are not the ones I usually use. Olivia's in New York City, yes. As I say, we're just tacking the case together at the minute. We'll go around and we'll fully tighten it all up later on. This is just literally to get a feel for what it looks like and what it feels like and sounds like. There we go. Here's the board, all nice and built. Noxary X75 prototype, the only one of its kind. Built with Outemu Sky, lubed with RO59, clipped and lubed cherry GMK screw-in stabilizers. Single layout plate apart from on the caps lock using step caps. We'll just put some caps on it now, just see how it sounds. Get the ISO keys in first. One, two, and three. Short shift, ISO hash, and of course we've got this as well down here. Anyone know what the key set is, by the way? I'm sure some of you do. I'm sure Gouty will know what this is. Gouty's a good lad, by the way, folks. He's a really nice guy. It is originated Dolch. Yeah, it's just standard Dolch. That's exactly what it is. Good guess. Classic set. Looks nice on any board. I've never put it on a board and it looked bad. It's one of my favourite sets. I got this off Tidal actually. I bought it off him a little while back. He got it for a steal. It's a nice set. Gouty sold you your first board, did he, James? That's really cool. That's really cool. I've never had a Gouty board. I nearly bought some a Vimp Black board. I think it was a Weiss a while back. I nearly bought off your Gouty. Or we discussed it, I think. I can't remember exactly. Let's just work out what we're going to do. On this top row, we're going to do page up and page down. That's nice and easy. Oh, we've got a switch stuck. Okay, fixed. I'll do print screen there, and then we're going to do scroll lock there as well. Pizza's on the way. Good lad, good lad. Always got to have a good bit of pizza. I think we're going to go with the end here, and then we're going to have FN there. We'll probably put delete key in the middle. Nice there. Pop the arrow keys on. Again, the plate's just moving slightly where I haven't screwed it in on the underside. We'll fix that later, probably tomorrow now. Scroll lock in the bin. DJ's got 2 X Gouty boards, nice. No home key. No, I don't need a home key. What do you need a home key for? Yeah, get them death threats going, man. Okay, I have no idea what this board's going to sound like, so we may have to put some deadening in it if it sounds a bit pingy or anything like that. Do bear in mind it's not fully tightened up yet. I need to do that at a later stage. Probably, as I say, finish that off later on. I need to find a stepped caps key. It's here. I didn't check that this set actually supported this bottom row that I've gone for either, so we might have a problem with that. We'll see when we get there. This has been by far my longest stream, I think, guys. So 20 people watching after 2.5 hours, guys. You all deserve a round of applause. This is fantastic effort for you to support. I really, 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 really cherish the fact that you guys have stayed around and watched for so long. Does that set not have a red ISO enter? No, it doesn't. It has a red ANSI enter, but that's all it has. I don't mind. It looks nice with just the escape key. It has got the brown escape key somewhere. I don't know if it's in here or not. No, I think it might be on my escape, the hobby macro pad, or either that or it's with another set. Interested to see how the right of the spacebar works. Okay, so I can probably show you actually. So the plates are cut identically, and on this plate you can see that on this top plate, on this top piece of case, I've got a 1U blocker. Now I wanted both plates cut in identical because I wanted to just use the blocker top, but I figured for this build, what the hell, we'll have just part of the brush showing through. I thought it might be just a nice little tweak. I don't know. If it doesn't look great, what we'll do is we'll just change the top and we'll just have that one top. That's part of the reason why I haven't screwed it in properly. So yeah, I hope that makes sense. Now I need a shift key that will fit in there. I think that's the one. There we go. And then we're on to the bottom row. We need a control key. We need a code key. We need an alt key. Someone's pinging me on Reddit, getting notifications. We need a space bar. Then we need a 1U key. I don't know if I have one. I'll go with code. Then we need one more 1U key for the bottom row. We'll go with control. And there we go, there we have it, folks. As you can see, there's a little bit of flex in that. I don't know if you can see it from the angle, you can see it here. There's a little bit of flex in that because I haven't screwed it in together. But there we go. That is the Noxary X75 prototype, fully built, GMK Dolch by Originative, brass blocker because we've got the 1U spacer on the top. And we'll do a little bit of a sound test. There we go, folks. What do you think? I think it sounds okay. Probably needs to be screwed together a bit tighter to get a better read on it. Switches feel okay, slightly scratchy still, even though they're lubed. Some of them are a bit stiff. That one feels like it's going to stick. don't know. Yeah, let me know what you think, folks. Should we hear it next to a Holy Panda board, because that's probably the best tactile experience we can do to hand at the minute. So, Outemu Sky, 72 grams. And then we've got Holy Pandas, 78 grams. There you go. I think that the Canoe still sounds better. It does need some sound deadening inside the case. It's probably going to sound a little bit different when I tighten it all up. I think the switches look great. They might feel better once they've been worn in. I'll try using it for a week, see how we go. But there we are, one of a kind Noxary X75 prototype, fully built, fully working, and up and running. In fact, let's actually just test that, make sure that I'm not lying when I say it's fully working. I've got a cable to hand. I'll grab one quickly. The outs are a bit riggy. What's the outs? Canoe does sound nice for sure, but it's not too far off. Yeah, little ping in some places. I think the ping's just where I haven't screwed the plate in, to be honest with you. It's coming where the plate's a bit softer, like down here. I think it's just that. If we try it up here where I have screwed it in, there's no ping. So I think that's just where the ping is. One of a kind is always a good thing. Oh, oots, the Outemus. Right, that's for the Windows noise. There it is. It's all setting up. I think I've just pulled off one of the rubber feet. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, it's just a plate, I think. Let's type a test message. There you go, all working. We'll just load up the switch tester just to double check everything. Let's test the top row. Yeah, all working so far apart from escape. Escape isn't working. Don't know why, we'll have a look at that in a second. Backspace works. Yeah, just need to reprogram these keys. Yeah, all working. This is looking good. Okay, ISO key, just need to work out that out there. Everything looks like it's working just fine though. Yeah, okay, so I think that's FN. I think that just needs reprogramming and then we're good to go. All these down here need reprogramming as well. It's nice and easy because it's not a prototype PCB, it's just a standard keyboard fans one. Nice and easy to do. Yeah, there we go, go from there. What are you guys saying in chat just before we finish? Let's have another quick look. Canoe caps key is fucking swish. I don't know what you mean. The caps key here. Oh, have you seen that? Yeah, that's what the light does. It goes from. That's probably easy to see. It goes red, blue when caps is on or off. It doesn't do that. It does that because I made it do that. This is ported to QMK, so it usually uses bootmapper. Yeah, it was just a QMK bit of coding. I actually did Daniel's the same way for him because he liked the way that mine did that. So yeah. Pub or lunch or pub lunch? I think we should do the pub and lunch for a pub lunch. That sounds like a plan, Toby. When I'm down, I'm hoping to be down on Tuesday, but I'm not 100% sure. We'll see. I'll let you know. Yeah, it's just easy. So on this board, these actually work as the way Underglow does on normal boards. So all this is programmed is that it changes the way that Underglow would. You can actually see it in the reflection of the caps here, the colour better. That's literally how it works. The code just controls the underglow effectively. There's just two underglow LEDs sat there, and that's what it does. And then matching cable as well, as you guys can see. So yeah, so that's it. And the keycaps themselves are GMK Solarized Dark. probably one of my favourite boards. But Canoe aside, X75, second Noxary board that I've got that's fully built. I have got an X60 I need to build at some point as well. That'll probably be on stream, along with the Duck Viper 2. But yeah, Noxary X75. The underglow is going on. I can just see it through the LED gap in one of the caps, so I do need to work out how to turn that off as well. And it is coming through on the caps key here. Let me just show you before we finish. Oh yeah, did you see that? if I press caps on here, like the LED changes even though it's on different boards because it's reading the system status for caps lock. Yeah. All my cables come from Max Cable Car Designs, as Toby's saying. This one came from Max. The one that you can see here with the coil, that came from Max. Yeah, I've never tried Cool Cable, but yeah, Max is amazing. He makes the best cables I've had ever. So yeah, as you can see, the Canoe changes when we press caps. It reads it from the system memory rather than reading it from itself. But you can just see there, I think, maybe that the LED underglow is coming through. So we just need to turn that functionality off. But that's it. That's the build done. We'll leave it for there. I thank you all for watching. 2 hours and 40 minutes. It's been the longest stream yet, I think. Really enjoyed doing the build. It's been a little bit different. Had some good music on the back, some silly jokes. I'll chat to you all soon, and thank you very, very much for watching. I love you all, and you're the best followers I've ever had. So thank you. I'll speak to you soon, guys. If you need anything else, just hit me up on Reddit, Discord, or wherever else you know me. But we'll call it there. Cheers, folks. Bye bye.